Egg up now. You're this in the
So-
always snitch.
Yeah, please don't do this. Don't do this.
No.
please.
Like every
Eh?
single time,
Please.
nobody else's like computer is like reiterating the fact that the meeting is recording, but your own just the shout down.
Ego will be like that
But
Zoom version that was available during
It's taking-
pandemic.
He's taking precautions. He's just letting everybody know that I know that everything is being recorded. Please.
Why is it only your own?
Thank
The remaining people, you don't get precaution.
Ego never updated Zoom since 2020.
Boy, you dey use.
I'm using Zoom on the web.
Wait, you
I'm
use
using
Zoom on the web?
Yeah, I don't have the app on my computer.
Shouldn't Internet Explorer it is?
Bastard. Piece of shit. Yeah.
Christ.
We don't start again. New week. New
Yeah. Yeah, so
Wait, start with
let's-
disclaimers. Ego, please start with
Yeah.
disclaimers. Please.
yeah. So hi everybody.
And you have to
Welcome
introduce
another
Bash for the first time.
Yes. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the pod. This is your regular listening podcast. Last week was Friday. And in today's episode, we have a guest. We have, one of our friends. He's a genius. He's Albert Einstein's lost long siblings. He's the effect of colonialism. Albert Einstein had the Black Beach, and one time in Bash's history, they came back to Africa and they gave birth to Bash.
Oh
He's
my
one of the
God.
smartest nigga you would ever get to meet. So
Please,
we bring
please
to you
disclaimers, whatever we
100.
say.
Bash.
For
They say you be bastard. No mind that high.
No. I'm talking about his ancestry. He's not
No.
his ancestry.
Disclaimer, you started
All the same, you just called him a
So-
bastard.
For disclaimer, please note anything we say or do on this podcast is ordinary. What the fuck, please? Anything we say or do on this podcast is strictly for entertainment purposes and informational. Do not take this as serious. It is mostly jokes. This is not a financial advice. I will not give you anybody financial advice.
And
But
I do not
basically
have
just-
Australian origins.
Yeah, that's also true. We are not giving you any financial advice. Kindly note this is all jokes, informational, and entertainment. Thank you very much. With that being said, welcome to Last Week was Friday. On today's episode, we have Bash, which is an awesome guest, is an awesome friend of ours. Forget what I said in the beginning. He's still a genius, don't forget that part. But the Albert Einstein part, you can choose to forget it or not.
It's a pleasure to be here, and it's a pleasure to call in. And I hope we have a great episode today, and hope that this is wonderful.
so Bash.
What the hell is this, Bash? You think you're in a corporate meeting?
I'm just waiting for you.
Like, bro.
Allow.
You really talk as if
Why?
like we be investment bankers. What the hell?
You get
It is in a PM.
At least, let me act like no. I'm taking my listeners into consideration.
I didn't taking you into consideration.
Good point.
So Bash, please can you tell the people what you do? Like career-wise, passion, anything.
Well, I'm a software developer. Work with backend and a bit of cybersecurity, penetration testing, but mainly backend development. I use tools like .NET and C#
C#
for my kind of work. So naturally, that
Bash
means I
the
always want to
C
fintech.
sharp.
This kind of time I need that sound effect.
For context, Ego cannot connect his soundboard to. So his mouth is the new soundboard.
Yes. Bing, 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 bing.
Ego,
That. What?
we know the
What?
African magic. No try that thing again.
Bing, 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 bing.
Try it.
So another thing is, don't mind his accent. Bash has this accent. He has always had this right from when we were in secondary school. That's why I feel like the history I mentioned earlier about him being from Albert Einstein's ancestry is probably true because the accent is in it. Um, he came from
Einstein
Bets.
wasn't even from that area. If he had an accent, it would be more German than anything. Like,
Just changed. You know, German people. You know, they gave like I don't want to go into the details now
But,
because these
Don't,
guys are
don't,
timing me.
don't
but
go
Yeah,
into
I'm
the
not,
details.
but
Don't,
let me warn you. If you fact check Egg up, he will just put you in prison.
bro. Don't go into the details. I can hear Hitler. I can hear Hitler in my forehead. Don't do
see,
it.
that's exactly what was in my mind. Like, where is bro about to connect with?
I'm not going to say anything. I will just I'll stop there. Yeah, you know,
Please,
it's too
please,
early.
thank you. It's too early.
Yeah, it's too early for all of that. You know, for people listening, this podcast we talk about science, politics, jokes, comedy, and things that generally interesting and curious to us as like hosts of this podcast. So if that's something that is your snake, something you fuck with, please, I hope you find this enjoyable and fun. With
Also,
that being, yeah,
yes, I'm the one that always cuts in. We also want to try to get out of the trenches, as you all know. So we are all entrepreneurs in our own individual fields, and we try to give you access into our journey of escaping the matrix. So come along if you feel like you're interested in that shit. Yeah.
you're already here, so fuck you, you're long. Yeah. We have our lawyer here. Musa is fast. Musa always checks us to make sure we don't go to prison. You know, he's going to defend all of us if any of us ever gets to go to prison or gets cancelled. You know,
I
which
just
I'm
have a
happy for.
feeling to be you. I don't know why.
Hey.
It may be me. It will be us. It may
Egg
be
up.
someone. What? Alpha. No.
There's a
So let's.
problem with Musa defending us.
We may collect four.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
oh.
There's a Manchester United fan among us.
I'm surrounded by like 4 Chelsea fans. Well, 3.5. Because
I'm not a Chelsea fan, guy. I'm a Barca fan.
I'm not a Chelsea fan.
None
If
In
of
this
like
Chelsea
context,
lose,
a United hater is welcome. We're cooking him.
thank
So
you,
Barca
thank
fans
you.
come along. Get your
Yeah,
plates.
I'm a Barca fan. I'm a Barca fan. So if Chelsea lose tomorrow like this, I would fire Chelsea. If Barca lose tomorrow, you may not see me, but like
what's so funny
it's
is
not
that Egop
intentional.
is supporting Barca before Mbappe finishes us next week. Like you came at your own.
Um, I think when I say I'm a Barca fan, you think it's club. It's not about club. I'm a
Oh,
Barca
fool.
fan.
Oh my
Um,
god. Oh.
So it's not about what you support Kurubasi
Then
or
when
something.
they cook Barca, no run, no. Hold on,
no, no,
what's
no.
going
No. I'm a Barca fan. The people who are
that
into fun.
17-year-old, they will show him why he's 17 this week.
That guy, see
Wait,
that guy may come and outshine Mbappe. Will just comes first.
I'm not tolerating anything from a Man U fan. All of you should rest.
That's true, Seth. That's true. That's true. You have
See,
people older than 17 and you are still
that lot
losing.
cause this nonsense. Like
We thought
that
the
lot.
30
I swear,
fans
if you understand pigeon, like guy, like what you did was not nice at all. How? Wait, let's actually think about it. How person like you've been the wrong with person since nearly halfway line. You know, decide foul am. You know, enter your mind, make you foul am outside. Now, when you
You know
actually
what's funny?
enter the 18, you know, oh no, yeah, let me foul the guy. Like, what?
You know what's funny about it? The funniest part of everything is, as a Chelsea fan, I know Madueke. If Dalo left him alone, Madueke will not do anything in that box. I'm too sure. Madueke was more of a threat when he
Wait,
was outside.
you gave penalties to somebody called Madueke. Now the boss my head, bro. Man U.
Funny thing is that Prince didn't watch the match, but the
I
social
swear
media
to
is
Even
God.
loud.
also Madueke, he won't have done anything. Like, I'm too sure, I'm certain that,
I
like,
just
if Dalo had left him, he would either cross the ball to goal kick or do something stupid.
when I go foul person with the score goal.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Failure is so loud that you don't need to watch Man U match to
Moving
know how
on.
loud it is.
Moving on.
Yeah, that's what happens when you fail. You want things to move on fast. Um, moving forward, yeah. So what happened to you guys week? On the list here we have.
Just pray back and win. It just
It
plain
doesn't
back.
matter. Barca wins or Barca lose. It doesn't matter, Obed. It doesn't fucking matter. Yeah.
I can't know that. I have no.
Moving on. Moving on.
Good. Pretending to move on. Shego, what happened your week? What happened your week this week?
It's 30 minutes past 4. Just saying. Uh, I joined the new gig this week, and I've been pretty much working on their code since. But the beautiful
You
thing happened last night. Some
That
people would
sounded
not
very okay.
like to recall. No, try 'em, you know. Some black men in red. Anyways, make I
Um,
just shut up for now. Carry on. Go to the next
oh,
guy.
the new gig. Which gig?
A new gig. We can speak
I know.
about it outside the recording. I don't want to be billed unnecessarily. Like I'm about to be billed this night.
this
I
week is
want
called
Asian
Bill
man.
Shego.
Bill Shego is.
Wait. No. Okay, yeah, we can't Bill Musa because he lost four. So I say Bill Musa, but like, no. Failures have nothing to give. Um,
He already gave two penalties.
ouch.
Ooh.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah. So Musa, oh shit, nah, please. I'll skip you. Yeah, second on this list, but please. Hey, Prince, what's up? How was your week?
Okay. In order not to be boring like the last 3 weeks, this week I worked on a certain project that has to do with web scraping. So basically, I was trying to use AI to stalk Sam Altman on Twitter from last year. That is just two attempts. So I guess I finished it last night, which is why I was able to miss the downfall of Manchester United. Yeah, right now I'm working on neural network models, and fun fact, I have exam in the next 2 hours, so this is dedication for the grind. I'm sacrificing my marks for this podcast, so you better fucking listen to it. Thank you. I hope my mother doesn't
Nice.
hear this podcast.
Nah, she won't. By the begin,
Prince, you insult
no,
people.
nah.
No
She would
be
have
even
left
that.
from the intro.
Now just the exam thing.
Mommy's boy. Um, moving forward.
Mama.
What do you want to say? Prince, you were supposed to explain recurrent neural network for me. You didn't. I swear.
I told you
You
no.
Why? I needed it as like an extra in the pod. It was supposed to sound like it was supposed to be nice. It was like, okay, listen to Prince explain neural network like he would if you're five. Then you record it and send to me. Then I add it in the pod so it like act a fizzy to the podcast. Um, that kind of thing.
I
Yeah, it
trying
could
to
take you like 2 minutes.
say yes on our podcast. So now if I say no, now everybody will be like I'm an evil person. Guess what?
What
No.
piece of shit, motherfucker. uh, well, your stuff. Are you scraping for something specific or you're like just scraping randomly?
It's Sam Altman I'm trying to do. To be honest, I would like to scrape Nancy Pelosi and see what is going on in her life because that woman is my hero. For context, she's a Congress lady that does insider trading and making money.
Higher returns than Warren Buffett.
Oh my god, it's not that thing, but like literally, she's making. Warren Buffett is averaging about 20% return yearly average. She's like 22% or something like that, which is wild because all she does is go to work. But apparently, she has some investing skills. So if you know anyone related to her, please let me go and get married into the family. I can't wait. Thank you.
This is some investing. Oh my god. Uh, okay, if you are trading, you can meet Prince for insider trading intro. You let you in on some tips and tricks.
Disclaimer. I joke, bro. I don't know anything. This might be jet.
please.
Don't worry, they will not take away your card. They will not ship you out.
Moving forward.
Me update on my end. Um, sh- fuck yeah. I had another meeting with a potential customer that I was supposed to have on Wednesday. We've not spoken since then. I sent them a mail. We went through the proposal I sent initially, which is like the second meeting, which is good. At least it feels good. That's one thing I'm proud of. In regards to that, we've not had any other thing again. What's podcasting? Things have been like slow overall. That's in terms of like what's podcasting, growing it as a company. I think, um, I have new ideas I want to try. I'll share like the more we go into the pod, I'll share. But I have new ideas I want to try in terms of like collaborating with companies and individuals, seeing how that work. I reached out to two people that I feel like a collaboration with them within the next 1 month would kick out or like put what's podcast in the face of people more. That's the goal. Yeah. Aside that, still making short videos. Started posting on Instagram lately. God, Instagram is cringe as fuck. Like the reason why I don't like posting on Instagram is because a lot of my secondary school classmates are there, and it's just that's why it's cringy. If not, I posted on Twitter for a long time. I post on TikTok for that matter. I post on YouTube for like years, but Instagram is like, ugh, please. But I'm doing it that way, so fuck me. Any other updates?
No, this
No, no other updates. No other updates. Oh, please, sorry, don't fuck me. Um, no other updates. Thank you.
okay. Is it Bash?
Yeah, it's Bash. Bash, what's up?
Yeah. Well, update. What's up? What's up?
Yeah, so updates. How's
Updates
your
of my
week?
week were kind of weird. My week was kind of weird.
What happened?
I mean, aside dealing with normal work, I got one of the weirdest mails I've received in a long time from
Interesting.
what I think was supposed to be a potential client of mine. Where it was like, you messaged me.
Wait.
Like, good
Well,
morning.
what kind of clients? What kind of clients? Like
Like
bedroom
someone that
clients?
wants me. Eh? I am a saint, please. And I plan to
Okay.
keep it that way. Anyways, like apparently he's the CEO of a startup, yeah. I think they deal with something about flights. I'm not going to name drop him here, but he reached out to me. I was like, he's looking for a backend developer. And the first thing that came to my mind was like, how did he even reach me? He was like, he saw my GitHub. I'm like, okay, but how did you get my number? He was like, he saw my GitHub. And
Bro,
that didn't like
no,
that's
they talk
so like
you people.
I was already questioning how he was able to like
Shut
find
up.
me. And between then, like
Head
the
up.
next thing I hear is that it's cPanel. He has APIs and he wants me to put it in their WordPress website to integrate them. And it was a very, very confusing website. And I've spent the last 2 days trying to explain to him that is not my job and I do not work for him. So he should stop telling me what are we doing next. There is no way.
This
like-
guy has a very polite way of saying "fuck you."
Hey, remember that
No,
song
like-
that you made? We're like family in this place.
Yay! You're like family in this place.
Literally, Ego made a song for your situation right now.
Uh,
And I'm like,
oh,
I didn't even get like, but I'm like, bro, you just messaged me out of the blue. Like, you need a backend developer. Okay, what do you need a backend developer for? It's tasks that a backend developer is not meant to do. And I'm telling you, I'm not the person you need as that. So what should we do next? What? How should I know? Nigga, it's your company. And like,
Shay, you can't
he's
block him.
probably going to call me again soon.
You can't block him.
Yeah, I blocked his number. He found my second number. He has also mailed me. So at
Are
this
you
point, I'm
serious?
blocking.
I don't
Yes.
understand. Wait, is he like
Is he a
all
what?
these?
The website that he's trying to build. Is it stalker.ai?
No, it's not. But he's one of the best talkers I've ever. You know, if it wasn't me, he was talking. I'd ask him for advice. Cause no way. Cause like, I mean, at first I ignored his message on WhatsApp because it's +234, and I couldn't imagine anything new coming out of it. But then he sent me a mail too. Yeah,
Lord of
message on WhatsApp
Jesus.
and like,
Still finish.
I swear.
That's when I had to like take it seriously, and I'm like, geez. And that's the thing. Like, I checked again after he said he saw my profile on GitHub, and that's how I reached it. My number is not there. There shouldn't be anything that should lead you to my DM or WhatsApp from there. And I've
Guy,
been like, okay,
Is he from
guy.
Bangladesh?
Is he from Bangladesh? That's the important question. Is he
Or
from
the guy?
Bangladesh?
from Kenya apparently.
Ah,
Wow.
well,
Maybe the guy did not PN for Bangladesh. Now, why?
I've said this before. I've said this before. Um, Indian
Everyone
guys,
knows
Indian
it. Just
guys have a genealogy with black people, right?
wait.
So
No, please don't say this one. Please. Please, you guys, is the worst thing ever said. Please, I've known this boy for over 10 years. This is the most sensational thing he's about to say. Please.
I will say it.
If
I will say it. I will say it. I will keep my mouth shut. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. Bash. So like this now, what are you going to do about it?
Absolutely nothing. Because like I've tried to be civil. I've tried to explain to him that, bro, I am not. There is no we. I am not your partner, your co-founder, whatever it is. But he still keeps buzzing me like, what's next for us? Oh yeah, should I find the front end developer? Should we find the? I'm like, I'm just going to keep ignoring him like that and see what happens next. I've ignored his calls today, and I'm expecting him to tell me again this evening. Can you imagine?
He's creeping in. He's creeping in small, small. He's laying
I always thought
foundation. You know.
I always thought my admirers and stalkers would be female. It's heartbreaking that it's a guy.
Yeah.
so
Well.
software been developed, not it to be female. Me, sef, I already given up on women. That's why I do AI so I can train models. It may be
I don't know if you noticed that.
Somebody
Please, I don't know
right
if
now
you
Just,
that
know.
just,
turn it
just
into a
don't drag
quote.
it. We heard it, but just leave it. Just leave it. Just leave it as it is.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Oh god. Ding 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 ding.
who's that? Your turn, Joe.
Yeah. So obviously the failure in the room. Please fill us in. How was your week?
But I feel like, when you feel like they don't clothe you for shame. Like,
So moving on to the next thing on the list.
Wait, calm
Yeah.
down. Wait, cut them off. You guys say you know what you feel when they clothe you in shame. I don't know that feeling. I've never worn Man U jersey before.
Exactly. Oh my god. Oh my
I
god.
expected
Oh.
God.
Shego, are you here? Shego, are you even here? I see what we're doing for you. We're helping you as a Chelsea fan. You and Bash.
I see pictures. I
Tim.
see pictures today. We talk say like that. Man U has to be. God, though. Man U is a social experiment to see how far humans can be pushed.
How far can humans go supporting something that would fail? Oh, oh my
Anyways,
god.
my week. Sorry, I don't know how I'm on Friday. If I'm being honest, but it's Friday, and yeah, I've just there's with this thing. There's like one job like that I was supposed to do for like a month. Now this week I can't do it. So that was what I've just been doing. Actually, like after our podcast, I have to finish it because I have to submit it today. But that's it.
Easy report you're writing.
What? No,
Easy
like
report.
independent consulting, like a consulting job that came. That I have to submit today, and also like I also have like potential collaborations for like reports with one economist, another one is like a data analyst in a one of the tech companies. So I mean, honestly, like it's okay, it's fine.
Okay.
And like
Oh,
I don't know, a lot of ideas have been popping. So
Well, give us some beats. Give us some beats. What kind of ideas?
Wow, wow. Where will I share my
How
secrets?
to win a match.
Well, that should be on top of your list. Shego barely talks, but when he does, make sure you feel it. Make sure you feel it. Ah, I love that. I
Your
fucking love that.
English failed that one.
But
It
then,
doesn't
like
matter.
Musa, honestly, like, let's take a second to think about Musa, like, because in back-to-back weeks, they've entered the 90th minute thinking they're going to win, and they've come to full time and not won anything. Like,
Ah,
that's what happened
my
It's
chest.
last
okay,
week too.
Bash.
Now,
Moving on.
My
It's
chest.
okay.
The god of 11th hour have left them. They are the Red
Ego,
Devils anyway. So
we are talking about my Hogo now. Can you move forward?
no, we're talking about my you. um, sorry. Prince, Bash, you guys to leave and Shego, you guys to be unmuted. You unmute your mic. Just leave it like that. Don't worry. It doesn't matter if they are, if they are shooting in your background. They are killing some black people. Prince, unmute yourself. Doesn't really matter. We understand it's a culture. You can rap
Nigga,
about it.
I'm
nigga,
waiting
nigga,
for the email for the
nigga,
FBI.
nigga.
I'm calm.
Why?
I'm calm. I'm calm. um, so, on to the next agenda of the pod. We have
Ego, wait, chill. Sorry. Let's start with Israel. Like, because I think that's the most important news for today. Can we just start with
oh,
that? Like, let's start with what could possibly like lead to world war. I mean, not world war, but like a major conflict. Like, Jesus Christ.
so you guys that have the breakdown, you and Prince, you guys are the one that brought up like the news mostly. Explain. Bash, you can chip in also. Tell us what you guys you have in mind in regards to this Israel stuff. Me, I don't know the deets. I don't know the deets. I'm not going to publicly come out and say something. Yeah, I'll just keep my mouth shut and
He,
say.
he reach Israel. Ego get self control.
Beg of the fair. Make them no extinct people for Ife.
They don't be extinct people for Ife.
Man, he reach
They
man
don't
Ego
be.
cause global fight. Ego don't get self control. Man, do.
No. Guy, like some things you just have to know where the line is. You get.
Ego Sabi lie. That's crazy.
Yeah,
like,
you have
You
to
know
know
the
where the
lie.
line is. Yeah, those guys are not black or white, so they don't give a shit.
oh, so it's my skin color.
They're not black, white, or Indians. If you're adding skin color, so you should yeah. I
Okay.
don't know. I don't know. It's not by skin color though, but you get me. Musa,
Anyways,
what's your thoughts on the issue?
let me just explain the situation. Well, I mean, so in October last year, unfortunately, like Hamas went to like kill
You guys says
100
unfortunately.
guys. This
Unfortunately
is
for
actually
who?
not
It
funny.
quite
So,
is.
like,
It quite
Ego, don't
is. It quite
Ego.
It's
is.
unfortunately for Hamas.
Unfortunately
For
for both
both.
sides, like for
For
both
both.
sides,
Because, like, it's not even just beginning with Hamas, you get. Like, it's been a low key thing that's been going on for like decades. And then I think it
Yeah.
just spiraled out of control that last year with that one move. So it's like they've been throwing jabs at each other, and then one guy just throws one jab, and the other guy just like, you know what, I've had it, and brings out a rifle. And
I feel, I feel,
Musa, please continue.
I feel it's not. It started from. I feel it started from when the children of Israel go
Jesus
finish
Christ.
for Jericho, go finish people for that area, finish everybody about to start. Is there a Bible
Yeah,
say
yeah.
Bro,
I,
that
I, agree, I agree with Prince.
now their neighbors really finish that time now? What do you expect the neighbors to do?
fight back.
It's not just
Yeah,
finish them,
they
it's finish them, put down for book.
Wait, guys. Let's start. Let's focus on modern history first of all. Like, let's look at the 40s, 50s, 60s area. Obviously, like World War II in the 40s. And then there was, bro, why are you checking J. Cole? Like, stop sharing your screen if you're going to be searching J. Cole.
Am I searching J. Cole? I don't understand.
Like, anyways,
What
so
are you
in the
saying?
40s, like your screen is distracting me. That's what I was saying. in the 40s,
Oh, okay, okay.
there was the
Maybe, maybe.
world. Obviously, there was the World War. The Nazis targeted the Jews, killed like millions of Jews. And so you have, like the Jews literally looking for how to find a place that is theirs, because before that, which is also like another thing that needs to be spoken about, is the fact that they did not really have a place to call home, in quotes. Like there was no really like a land or a concentration of area whereby like you could say, oh, this is where the Jews are from, technically speaking, right? In European history, they have just like been split into different places, different areas, like in the world, like some in Northern America, like Southern America, Southern Europe, within spread across Europe, right? But they were always a minority wherever they were. World War II came, and obviously, like, the great slaughter against the Jews happened, and then Britain at that point, coincidentally, was also like declining as a global power. And so the Zionists, who are the people that literally pushed forward for like having a Jewish country, a Jewish nation, right? Had they worked out having a land for themselves. And at the end of the day, right, the land that they got was Palestine. There were different places that they could have been taken to. I think there was also like a place in Africa that they could have gone to. I think I don't. I'm not sure. I think it's Angola or there was an African country. I might be wrong about the name, but like there was an African country there. They were like Palestine and other places, right? The thing I'm asking myself now is that had it been the integration was somewhere else, right? Um, Maybe it wouldn't have been this bad. But anyways, we are where we are today. October 2023, Hamas unfortunately attacked and killed hundreds of Jews, like a lot. Like more than 500 Jews were killed. Some are still kidnapped today. And what did Bibi, like that's Benjamin Netanyahu, do? He fights back, right? Because Bibi has always believed that Hamas needs to be crushed. As in, he feels, they call them terrorists. Not everybody sees Hamas as terrorists. I know the EU and I think the United States sees Hamas as terrorists. Obviously, Israel sees Hamas as terrorists, but there are some countries that do not classify Hamas as terrorists. But anyways, Israel thinking like looking at Hamas as a terrorist. Bibi sends out, like full force against Hamas, bombarding Gaza, like just ensuring that he will flush out all Hamas members, etc. And then in March, right? No, I think it's in April, like at ending March or early April. There were strikes that killed aid workers, right? And they are foreign aid workers, which is like needs to be noted down. I think there were like is one like food something. There were like 5 aid workers that were killed on the one hand, and then days later, right? There was a strike against the Iranian consulate in Syria, which is leading to the escalation that I say we should talk about today, which is essentially, like Iran, first of all, does not believe that Israel should exist. Like,
Are you serious?
like yeah, like they are literally saying that like Israel needs to be removed from the map. Like they don't deserve to. Like literally, these are guys that, in a way, their leadership. One of their main goals is to ensure that this thing called Israel is wiped out of the surface of the earth. Like they do not exist again. So it's like there's hostility between these two. America does not like that's why America has always tried to control Iran against progressing like in nuclear weapons, because if Iran gets nuclear weapons, or more, Israel is at great risk, and that's why Israel also cannot allow Iran to develop militarily to an extent, and is always going to like be pressuring America to take certain sides to ensure that they reduce the power of Iran to get to nuclear weapons. Anyways, I have not checked today, but like as at I think 2 days ago when the strike happened in Syria on the Iranian consulate, suspect allegedly Iran says that it was from Israel. As at yesterday or day before yesterday, when I listened to the news, Israel did not comment. But like now, Iran are coming out and saying like they will fight back, like they will literally respond in equal measure. And whatever that means, I honestly have no clue what that means. But again, I don't want
Eh?
I
You
don't
should know
want.
what it is. You should know what it is.
Yeah,
If he
yeah,
said
yeah.
he said it,
Like,
he said it
but
to now to Hamas. He told them when before the war started. He was like, with what they have done, right? He would strike back. He would revenge, and he will make sure they know that they should not try it again.
yeah, but like like it's also because the way they attack will also determine what happens next, right? And so in geopolitically speaking, if Iran is to attack Israel in a foreign um location, that is like in an Israeli embassy, let's say in, I don't know, in Saudi Arabia, or like Israeli embassy in somewhere else. Well, I don't know if there's Israeli embassy in Saudi Arabia, but let's imagine like is an embassy or a consulate of Israel in another country, right?
Yeah.
And the attack there, that is understandable because that's what like the missile did in Syria. All of this again, right? Like I'm not sure if Israel as of today have still commented if they were the ones that did it or not, but Iran believes that it was Israel that has done it. So if, hypothetically speaking, if Israel did it and Iran are justified in quotes to attack back, right? The right thing to do is to attack back outside of Israel, not within Israel. Because if they should attack in Israel, it is literally an act of war. Like, that is what they have done. Like, you are literally going to war against another country. And when that happens, that is when the domino will fall. Because Iran fighting Iran fighting Israel might draw in Russia, who wants to take, because Iran fighting Israel will draw in United States automatically. United States being drawn into the situation will draw in Russia automatically. Russia being drawn in will draw in EU automatically.
Wait,
Right? So
so
all of a
which
sudden,
side do you think Russia is going to take?
Iran, like Iran now, of course, like opposition to the US.
Eh?
Whoever the
Why would
US
Russia?
ups are, they will be there.
What?
Nah, I don't think Russia would want to side with Iran.
The
It's
enemy
not
of my
about
enemy.
siding. They're not like siding as in like we are
The
friends.
enemy of my enemy, mutual interests. My
It's not
plan is
like
to take down this guy.
friends. It's not like, oh, this is my
They are not
brother.
friends.
It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, they're not friends. I
Kind
know,
of,
but
I
like
think
still,
it's a mutually beneficial connection for them. I even call it a relationship. The fact that the people that Russia are, keeping their tabs on, keeping their eyes on, will make themselves slightly vulnerable by getting involved in the war, means that Russia would have an upper hand if they want to jump them or anything like that. So it's not like they are going to side them and become friends or as it is. It's just what they can gain from it on their
but
enemy.
what
Like
was Russia coming to gain if they fight Israel?
they can one up on the people back in Israel.
they will not fight
If they are true
Israel. They will
ops,
not technically fight Israel, but I have a feeling that they will back them. They will like they will tell Iran that should they attack you, perhaps we will give you support. Right? So like it's not really about, oh, allies in this sense. Like obviously, like for US Israel, it is about alliance, but it's like for Russia and probably even China, right? It is
Yeah.
going to be more of, this might be their chance if a war happens. Like in times of war, that is when countries fall and other countries rise up. Like it is an opportunity for China and nuclear wise Russia to literally weaken America considerably.
They,
At
see,
this point,
yes,
nuclear war will harm everybody. Like if we get to nuclear war, everybody will be affected. Like civilization will literally be destroyed. We're talking about AI, all of that bullshit. Like we'll be taken back like 50 years back before you can rebuild
yeah,
after nuclear war. Whoever survives.
close to
here's
100, not 50.
100. Yeah, but here's the thing: Russia is if US join and the war starts and the US coming for Israel, right? Russia would leave Iran to die and focus on taking over Ukraine permanently. They would crush Ukraine so bad, US will not have enough manpower to defend Ukraine and to come and defend Israel. That is what they will do. They are hoping this war works out. See, if this war is going to work, I'm sure Putin is hoping let the America go so that they will face Ukraine and then clear Ukraine into ashes, and then that's to me that's the most beneficial approach to
I feel
take
like the
for
issue with
Russia?
Ukraine is not only the United States directly. Like the other nations in NATO are not people to overlook. Let me put it like that. The likes of France are also not just going to sit down and watch Russia march through Ukraine. So I feel like for that Ukraine matter, the USC say
What
is
what has Russia done since, or the ones that have made the news so far? I mean, sorry, what have France done?
it's not what they, to be
What
honest,
they
It's
would
about
none
do?
of them
nuclear
have.
heads. Like it's about
Yeah,
nuclear powers
it's
of the
not what they've
world.
done, it's what they can do. The fact that we
Like
know that these guys are not jokers, so that has to count for something when you're trying to make decisions. You get, you
Yeah.
know what they are capable of, so you don't just make random choices like that and start what you regret.
so egg up, it's not so much like it's just about all of this conflict. Like, why hasn't a war actually happened? Like, why hasn't there been a World War III? One of the major reasons is because of like deterrence. Deterrence, like in international security, literally just means like the fact that I know you have a weapon that can destroy me. I am deterred. Like I will have to think more before I attack you. Do you understand? And like any
Yeah,
nation that has like nuclear warheads, and like, there are very few countries that have, like United States has the most, then followed by Russia,
Russia.
then United Kingdom, France, China, India, Pakistan, North Korea, and Israel. Those are the only countries that exist that have nuclear warheads. Every other person like does not have. So technically speaking, right?
Wait. Indians have?
They have, yes.
Yeah. Are you serious? Are you serious?
Bro, do you
Oh
know how many
shit!
they are? Why won't they have one?
Wow.
Indians teach us everything, literally.
But they have a similar situation. Like India and Pakistan do not like themselves, putting it in a more
Exactly.
way. They do not like themselves. So literally, like Pakistan having nuclear war necessitates India to have nuclear weapons, and that's now pushes Pakistan to have more, leading India to also increase its base. So it's like this acceleration. But what is the point entirely? Like the point is still that like because I have nuclear warheads, you know that if you throw one at me, I will launch back at you. So we'll keep doing it. And like by the time we are done, both of us have been messed up entirely.
And
This is the major
unfortunately, not
threat.
just both of them, because of the nature of nuclear warheads. These
Yeah.
things leave some. I mean, we all know about Hiroshima and Nagasaki now, the mutations that happened years later, the fact that vegetation doesn't grow there, and the fact that Russia and the United States both are in the northern tropic there, where majority of the food that humanity consumes is placed. So if by chance they are to level themselves, first of all, the radioactive clouds that will go into the Earth's system means that we would probably go into a global,
Famine.
will I call it famine? Yes.
Yes.
And most likely
Famine.
the only people that will survive it are people like Australia who are just on their own. Every other, so that's the thing. They've stacked up their weapons so much that right now it's not even a good idea for anybody to start it, even if you're the stronger power. Because no matter how you're firing it now, everybody will lose. Not just two of you, everybody on the planet.
Really? Everybody on the planet, like I
Yes, really.
guess,
Yes, really.
I guess, what Madagascar going to lose? They're about to go out of it. They are at the end of Africa. They're an island.
Like I said, the nuclear residue that will go into the atmosphere will circulate everywhere. You get, that includes places like us here, down in the equator in Nigeria. That includes people going southwards. And once it goes everywhere, it's going to kill life. It's probably going to block out sunlight. Like, it's going to be the
Wow.
equivalent of a super volcano erupting. That is how far we've come with all this. Yeah, I have nukes, I have bigger ones. Now it's not just a good idea for anybody to make any move, because any move they make will extinct life on Earth.
Nah, I think it's one person make one strategic move. It will be like, if, for example, Israel take four of their nuclear weapons and fire it at Pakistan or be Iran and level the whole Iran at once. Capish? Settled. No
Capish
problemo.
how? Capish
Everything
like
finished.
Iran have allies that will not let that slide,
no, it's not
first
even
of
it's
all.
not even that. Like
Secondly,
you
the fact
being
that
the
Israel will not have nukes anymore means that all the people who were already on their rival sides will know that this is the time to jump them.
Like, first of all, like anybody that the first person to shoot will get the greatest blame. Why? Because at the end of the day, like you've took that first shot, and so everybody will be justified to act following that action that you have taken.
That's why Gaza looks like the bad guys now because they shot first. They came and they unfortunately killed a lot of people.
You get
But the thing about it is like, if you go back in time, according to what Priest was saying, is that not Israel's land in the first place? Like, I mean,
not quite. Like, see, originally, I feel for both sides because that land belongs to neither. And I feel like the Palestinians kind of got there first before these modern day Jews. Because aside all their nomadic behavior in the past, even when they tried to settle around that area some time back, they were wiped out by the Assyrians and co. So like they were there first, and it was probably supposed to be something of where they were meant to live together mutually. I would want to make a controversial example here, but I'm not going to say something concerning Nigeria anyway. But you get after a while, tensions will rise between different people now. Same thing that we saw now with our own last election. Tensions will rise. Once those tensions become too high, what we are seeing playing out now plays out. And unfortunately, the weaker party threw the first major punch at the stronger party, and that's how it is.
See, let's
interesting.
looking at both sides. Like on the one hand, obviously, like what happened in like 1947 when Israel was given, when literally Britain handed over Palestine to Israel. Like these are Palestinians where there's this thing called the Nakba. Nakba was just, that what. So for Palestinians, Nakba was a period whereby what's Israel, like the Israelites, what do they call them? Like people from Israel, whatever they are called.
Yeah,
Israeli,
Israelites now. Yeah,
Israelis.
Israelites.
Yeah, Israelis. So when the Israelis are celebrating independence, like the Palestinians are remembered on Nakba. And Nakba was just a period whereby, like, Israel sent away, pushed, and like literally chased guys from their houses, like in Palestine. So obviously, like, if this should happen anywhere else in the world, like, if when Britain came and were pushing guys out of their house, nobody was happy with that. Everybody saw that that's BS, and like everybody like sees that there's a problem with that, right? Of course, in the Israeli case, it's not as easy to like just say, it's bad. Like on the surface level, yes, right? Like it does not make sense. Like, why are you just chasing guys from their house? On the one hand, the global powers at that point were the ones that caused these problems because they are the ones that give them this land. Number two, the global powers did not want to have these guys in their own countries. Let's remember that. It's important to remember that. Like, US did not want Jews. UK did not want, like, England did not want Jews. Like, they do not want to house them in their own countries. And what did they do? They told them, yeah, take this land. Like, it's none of our business. Like, just take this land and you stay here. Number three, the Jews were people that literally, as at that point, the sympathies were high, and it needed to be high because like 6 million of them were killed. Like, even if you are the devil, right? Like, maybe not the devil, like sub-devil, demon. If you are the demon, like you have sympathies for like a people that had just suffered that much, right? And then the last thing is the fact that, historically speaking, right, these are people that never got like a land of their own, and they have finally been given a land of their own. And in my head, the situation I'm seeing is that they are trying to do whatever they can to hold on to this land. Like, if you've never had a country, like you've never had like a place, you were always a minority, like your ancestors in everywhere they went, and finally you are able to have land of your own, it's going to be very difficult to like make people like, it's going to be very difficult for you to agree to just anything to take you out of that land. So like it's very complicated because it has a very long historical like it has a long story historically speaking, but just like any other countries, by the end of the day, like it is what it is. What is happening is what is happening. And like the future of the world depends on the fact that countries need to act responsibly. If not, there's a lot of ticking time bombs at play.
There's a lot of ticking what time bomb. Hmm. It's not going to change. Like I mean, if World War III is coming, I guess the pastors in some pastors in Nigeria will capitalize on this, come up with prophecies and offerings and so many other things. We'll start hearing Revelation chapter this again. We'll start hearing preaching. So it's one of those things like just be aware. I'm just letting you know ahead of time. I said it here first. Um, the end of the world preaching is about to start again. So if you have collected your life from Christ before, give it back to Him now. Give it back to Him now. Yes. Moving. Moving on. We are not fighters. We are not fighting in any war. We are just empathizing with the people fighting in the war that they should not fight because fighting is not a good thing. At least it's not a good thing. But yeah, don't take my word for it. Look at Israel and Pakistan. Um, yeah. Another news.
Prince, why can't you
What
unmute?
do we have? Oh shit.
Prince, why can't you unmute? I don't understand.
Leave and join again.
Anyways, I go ahead.
All right. Well, in other news, we have something from somebody somewhere. So I saw this very interesting post. Sorry, my screen is doing whatever my enemies told it to do. Yeah. Away from war, we clear that topic. I saw this news somewhere, and I thought to share. I want to hear you guys' thoughts. So the true wealth is about more than just the balance in your bank account. Thank God is more about. It's about the richness of your experiences, the depth of your relationship, and the breadth of your knowledge. Here's a gentle reminder that financial success is a means to an end, and the end itself, not the end itself. Strive for a balance like fuck that, I'm reading that again. True wealth is about more than just the balance in your bank account. It's about the richness of your experience, the depth of your relationships, and your knowledge. Here's a gentle reminder that financial success is a means to an end, not the end itself. Strive for a balanced life where fulfillment comes not from what you have, but also from who you are and the lives you touch. That is a post from Mia Hogan Famudu, one of the women I respect a lot when it comes to this tech space. I think she's just one
Wow,
of those people I
wow, wow,
respect.
wow,
Interesting.
wow.
Wow. That is the most surprising thing I've
Yeah.
heard today. Not even the war self.
Yeah.
Ego respects another person.
Yeah, I
Not
know.
even another gender, another person.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. I think overall, right, it's always good to see. It's always good to see people doing things that people do. Like to be honest, I don't know how to explain it. It's just lovely, just very lovely. Um, yeah. So I'd
Feel
like
like
to hear
Musa
you
wants to
guys'
interrupt
thoughts
you.
on this. He can interrupt me. I don't mind. My enemies always interrupt me, but they never win. They never win. So, uh,
You know your enemy, though. Me, I'm not be your enemy.
I know my enemy. I know them. I know the gender they come in. Sef. I know them. So moving forward, here's a chart that she posted. Right. So financial richness, red, fuba, wealth, experience, friendship, family, knowledge. Rich life, wealth, experience, friendship, family, knowledge. So the rich life here is the wealth that she's talking about. The rich life and financial richness is this. I think this is BS. I think this is BS. But in as much as I
I
respect
agree.
her,
I
good.
Bro, I
Thank
was
agree.
you.
going to say the same thing, man. Like I
I
was
agree.
waiting.
I was waiting for you to finish to say, bro,
Guy,
I think
like
this is
Uh,
yes.
Yes, this is
The
deep. Yes.
illustration, the illustration be like all these things where, let me not say women, but they share the post am when guy cough them or when they chop heartbreak. They'll call the post things like would be love.
The woman na VC o, like woman dey na partner in VC and she dey tell us abeg.
She
Like
be like say
you
her
get
CEO break up with her. Which kind of post be she come put her for
see
LinkedIn.
who is this? Who is this one? Who is this? Who is this? 100%. Let me see. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Who is this one? Uh-uh.
I'm confused.
Harvard business. Not them. Not them. Not them. Not them. Not
What does
them.
that mean?
Not them.
The experience heartbreak with office boyfriend, they post her for LinkedIn. You think consign
No,
her?
no, no, no. See, the thing here is like, the reason why I believe this is BS, right? Is, to be honest, this is a good life. Like, these both things are mutually exclusive. This is based on the individual, not the idea. Like, what do you mean a financial rich life is only wealthy and low expense? I have money to travel the world, and I would sit down in my grandfather's house. I would travel the
Aside,
fucking world.
aside that, I feel like some of these things can tie into each other. Because unless you somehow magically woke up one day and you became the son of Elon Musk, who by default, when you turn 18, you become the CEO of every company he has major stake in, all these
Yeah,
experiences are intertwined because you can't get wealth
exactly,
without getting any experience. You can't get wealth if you're not knowledgeable, and you will need to build
exactly.
connections.
We need
So
to
there's
clap
You
no
know,
how you.
at now. Please, Ego, please sound effects.
ping, 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 ping.
Perfect. Because it's like the same thing we've spoken about before. Like people try to make it seem like if you are extremely wealthy, you don't have a happy life or you don't have good friendships or family. That
That's
is
a
your
poor man's consolation.
exactly.
That's what they call
Yes,
it.
Oh, Prince, you're so smart. But you don't get sense for streets. In the streets, meet me in Ajegule. I will not meet you in Ajegule in Jesus' name. It's
what are you going to do there?
Get
Why will
that?
you even come? Why?
you get my point. Ah, for streets, you would please. That is why you're a street boy. Stay on the streets. At the reason what
Remain.
streets they don't you concern my papa for starting when I was street. So you feel me? They try to make it, oh, you're not book my and what is so funny is that plenty people are not book smart and not street smart too. Because if you are street smart, you fucking off your TikTok and walk in shop. But no, you rather come and clown niggas online with data that you borrowed. MTN is to stop
It's
you for the data you need to clown me online. I don't
Prince
I
is
feel like
taking this deeper than I expected. But go on.
Please get please get person for mind.
In get person
Guy,
for mind, no
bring
one
so
call
much.
him. Who wants you? Who are you aiming
Rather,
at?
who threatened you?
on the streets
I
to be
say,
better. Yeah.
So Palmer don't carry him Michael.
yeah,
Anyways,
you don't carry
Don't
mic.
carry him Michael.
Musa
he
is
has
supposed
a
to fear
point,
by
because I
now.
can't lie. He has a point, because I can't lie. It's something that personally has happened to me to self a lot of the time. And like the way you're talking, self, you're just saying, guy, come to Bariga, come to what's it called? Come to Motion, we'll
Eh,
show you rich. All this one, don't be anything, no, Abuja boy. You know, that's what they call me
eh,
a lot. Like, Abuja boy, don't be all this one. And I'm like, I really do not care. I am not coming to Bariga. I'm not coming to Motion, please.
you
I don't
get
want to learn street smart. I don't want to learn how to one up people the way you guys do. That is not me, and it will not be me.
those things.
Yusef, come to my office. Come and carry laptop. Let's
Yeah,
deploy on
yeah.
Azure together. If it's sure for you.
Good. That's how it's supposed to be. Let's meet at my own battleground, not yours. Are you kind of them by you? Nah.
You
Like
can't meet
I
Man U at their battleground, though. It'll be a problem.
This guy will never perform. Maybe you get street sense. How
I
many
think they are
Bangladesh
doing fine at Old Trafford now.
you said?
Bournemouth like that.
Good point.
As when I talk this thing, I just remember when I see that Daily Momo do tweets.
maybe you put it now, sir.
Jesus Christ. I've never
Nah.
I've never
Some
felt
of these rich people,
no no no
they are
like
rich. You. They say some things, but like, please. What do you want to
It's
say,
really
Musa?
simple. A lot of laws apply only to the poor man, if you get. So it's to make
A
sure
lot.
that you stay, yeah. So it's to make sure that you stay in that mindset and you stay in that circle and you're not going to try and, how will I say, is their own way of regulating people who are beneath their feet and keeping them there and keeping them happy there. That's it to me. All these wealthy men quotes. I feel like that's what the majority of it is.
I say, wait, what's happening here? Like, let me put my thoughts on this issue. Yeah, for example, I was looking at Mark Cuban. I love Mark Cuban. He's after Elon Musk. Is my second like best billionaire that I like. Mark Cuban has a family. He talks about his children very well. Mark Cuban travels up and down. He has podcast shows with different of these guys, and he is fun and he's chill and he's interesting. This guy has friends, so he's not rich. Like he has friends, and he's a fucking billionaire. So he has everything. Like he has maybe not everything. He has some things he lacks from. But tell me what he lacks from that would be as bad as this data that we have. Experience is low, friendship is low, family is low, knowledge is low.
Him.
How would you even amount to wealth when you don't have knowledge? How did you even get there? Like, did you steal it? Did you pick it from the road? Did you plug it from tree? Did it fall
Hmm.
down from somewhere? Like,
I see what you did there. Personally, that is not data. That
I
is a
would.
meme.
That well, it's a
Plenty of
meme. So
data.
we should not
Thank you.
focus on it. It's a meme. It's a meme. I wanted to like it, but I was like, wait, uh, I respect you a lot.
Funny enough, I don't even like anything on LinkedIn except it's something directly aligns with my professional field. Because like I've connected with some VPs and some founders, and I just imagine you're a VP of Goldman Sachs. You just connected with a young man that you met at a random place, and then you open your LinkedIn. Person when only business deals and proposals in the see before. Nah, pictures and memes come full in LinkedIn because anything I like, they see. So the more high profile people I connect with, the less I like things on LinkedIn. I only like things that fit my career. So I
Not just
went
LinkedIn for me, all social medias. I think earlier last year, I had to take time to unfollow and remove people from my Twitter there, whether X or that, whatever I call it. Because
Yeah.
like there are some things I want to be seen, and I don't want to be. I
Bash
don't want
X
this
them.
random yash to appear in on my TL.
Yeah.
Because
X them.
I did not follow this person for that, and took time to reduce the number of people on my account to make sure that it's only things I care about I'm going to see.
Makes sense.
Twitter is even worse self. The one guy for our set, I'm not calling names. Person for Twitter, nice guy now. I know they use Twitter, they follow everybody back. Oh boy, next time I pull out my phone in public, keyword in public, online na pornography I see for my timeline. He shock me, guy. Thank God for headphones.
Blocking straight, guy. Like,
Guy, because Twitter, you like something, everybody they see am for their timeline. It's not like a notification that oh, this is what you like. It's just
everybody sees it.
guy, pornography on my timeline. And now I'm not setting the person beside me so it or not. But obviously I have to block the nigga now. Person go think say I proud. Are you mad? You follow me, go they like porn. So, so that's
You know
just
what's worse about it in recent times? Nowadays, it's harder to find out who likes what. So it just appear on your TLD, and you have to go through the likes one by one to find the one person that is your mutual that likes something like that. Like,
How time
Exactly.
consuming.
No. It's very important. Sometimes it's important to do that. To know where the error is coming. You have to know where the shit holes are coming from. You have to know, like, where is this thing leaking from? Like, man, you now,
They're
they never
probably
knew where.
coming from Old Trafford.
You see, they didn't know where it was leaking from, but goals kept on entering. So you guys be aware, bro. You have to stand by. You have to stand by. Yeah. This is Dele Mamadou. Let me read. Now, Dele
I've
Mamadou,
never
according
been
to
more
his,
quiet in a podcast than this one.
You have
he
to keep
never
short,
said
please.
anything.
Please.
He never said anything. According to Dele Mamadou, they used to use his name and sing. On his bio, he's a teacher, writer, author. Fuck that. He says, sincere apologies. It has become necessary for me to offer apologies to those who have asked me for one support or the other in recent time for my inability to help. God is my witness. I am currently. No, let me read it in how I think he sounds. Yeah,
Wait, pause. Before you continue. When did he post this thing?
this was well 29th of March.
Because I saw this on someone else's story, but I can't remember who. So does it
It
mean a
was
write went to
it
job and
was
he
the
did not
guy. It became so popular, bro. Like the level what you have for president, too, by the way.
so your president they apologize. Go on. Anyways, go on.
Let me read it how I think he sounds. Sincere apologies. It has been necessary for me to apologize to those who have asked me for one support or the other. Please, in recent time, my inability to help. God, Jesus, is my witness. I swear to God, I am currently overwhelmed with my own project. I swear. This project that require absolute discipline and focus. I pray, I'm on my knees, I pray that God will help me to be able to help those who genuinely need help. I'm swearing on God. I hope so. If I have not picked up your call, if I not pick up your call, it is because I feel too pained to say no to you. E dey pain me. I no fit say no to you now. Why I no pick your call? Because e go dey pain
No,
me till I tell you no.
That is not
E go dey
how he will say it,
e
please.
go
Like,
dey
how
pain
much did
me.
they bill him for, first of all? Like,
what is
billing we
happening?
go make you compose.
You get
Guy, how much
who
was the billing?
Actually,
That's what we
no,
trying
you
to
can't.
figure. Like, who billed him and how much was the billing? Because he had to go out of his way to compose this thing. And
oh,
Wait,
He
calm
said
down.
it's
he's
my
working on
No, it's
project.
a sign of respect. Wow, I'm going to use that line
yeah.
later. Anybody
It's
will
a
know is my sign of respect for you and not disdain.
exactly. Exactly. It's a sign of me
Prince,
respecting you and not of
Also,
disdain.
Prince, no.
Eh?
thanks for the sign of respect and not disdain. Now the new greeting.
You're welcome, my bro. Musa,
Yeah.
we said no to your win. That's a sign of respect.
Obama respected you very well yesterday.
Yeah,
Twice
yeah,
in the
yeah. 3 times actually.
Moving on.
I am a man of modest income. Hmm?
no vex. So
I am a
Onana is
man.
a highly respected individual.
Onana at 50 what? 56 right now, I guess.
you wait,
More than.
Onana is
you know what
running
I
for
find
Messi.
ironic about the Onana situation?
Oh,
When I watch this guy, I feel like they'll be far worse without him. But yet, like, I
he
don't know.
keeps on
Each time
surprising
I,
you.
each time I watch United, like, you might lose, though. You might concede three. But, like, Onana will make, like, 6 saves or something. I'll be like, this guy tried, but he can't stop every. I'm like, "Guy, how bad is your defense? Or what's going on?" I know you start
Onana
Musa,
feeling
himself
that.
is bad.
Moving on.
Musa,
Moving on.
Musa don't talk moving on like 30 times this podcast.
the only thing that is not moving on is Man U score sheet.
Uh,
Ah, oh my god.
Mayu, I think the title for today's podcast has to do with Manchester. So, I don't know.
No. This podcast
We
is
don't want
Anglo,
to lose
please.
audience. We
You
don't
don't want
want
to
to
lose.
lose
Oh,
audience.
that is true. Plenty of them, Man U
Guys,
fans.
let's focus now. Let's focus. Let's focus. Like, let's focus. We're reading Daily Momodu. Let's focus. I got
I mean,
finish reading
Yeah,
Daily
there go.
Momodu.
Dalo Momo, the
That
head up.
yeah.
that photo was keeping Ricky Sha. It
I
looks
mean,
like Manchester.
uh, uh, bing, 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 bing,
Nah, bro.
bing,
Slow down.
bing.
All this African magic effect. For sound. Moving on.
Now, how did they
Yeah.
hear for that red state?
Sorry.
All those their Yoruba films.
Anything you want to say. Mm. I am a man of modest income. Modest meaning is earning
Before we
average.
continue, we
I
have to
call cap.
recognize the change of color from
Yes.
Musa.
Yes. He has pulled off, the tag of shame. Doesn't mean he's not still he has just pulled off the tag. He gets.
He watched
Um,
a layer of death.
Now wearing
yeah,
white for
small. Now wearing
Madrid.
white.
Yeah, let's
From one failure to another.
The
Um,
painful thing is say Liverpool go stain that white. You see life.
oh god. Please let me finish reading this. I am a man of modest income, and I always try not to overstretch my luck. You see, I wish for you kind understanding at this difficult moment.
I swear, they
You
build
now
this
put
man
a
tire.
picture.
They
You
build
now
this
put this picture.
God.
Do you see
God,
this picture?
may never be
Oh,
built to the extent that I go share message
Have
like
to
this.
compose a epistle and post on my wall.
Guy,
Like,
on one hand, I
ah,
feel so sorry for him, man. Like I feel like
What
you know when a person don't pass through
gender do you think
trauma.
built him?
Calm down. He come be like all these guys. You know these clothes where you go wear go meet mechanic. Come put your two hands for pocket like say shishi no day or oga. Just fix the engine while I come for no time. Wait or no time.
oh my god,
Because now which I
oh my
this
god.
jean come wear
Uh,
blazer
uh,
match color.
go wear blazer. You can't fly the shirt.
Come fly the
Don't fly
shirt.
the shirt.
But shishi no
Swag
day.
kid.
Really understand.
Hey, the man say please, please,
Now
stop
swag
it.
I'm a
kid
man
now.
of
Oh,
modest income. Like,
I swear.
I'm a man of modest income. Then as I'll
Dele ma,
copy this thing,
dele
I'll
mama
use
do
it to
ordinary.
That has to be your bio. Man of modest income. Simple. Nobody will blame you.
Man of modest income. Oh Jesus. Yeah, 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 yeah. You not tell na anybody will be am now. Now you know day again. You know day again. Oh my jeez. Yeah. So corporate BS. Let's define what corporate BS is now. Corporate BS definitely means it is not like your regular BS. It is well structured. It is corporate. It is backed, and it's back. It has backing behind it. It's like free education in Nigeria. They say it's free, but it's not free. It's like freedom of speech as well in the US. It's all corporate BS. An example of corporate BS is this post from Rich Life and Not Rich Life. It's backed by somebody famous and somebody rich, but it's called corporate BS. That's just one thing you should know at the back of your head. It's spelled oh shit. It's spelled how it's pronounced, not how it's spelled here. That should not matter to you. But moving forward,
I was about
um,
to, you know,
yes, economic news for this week. So we have Tripoli, his latest bet on container. So in Kenya, they have this startup called Tripoli. We are starting with economic first of all. There are two guys, Tripoli. What the news saying basically is that Kenya is mostly backed by tourism and all of that, and they are betting that people will use their payment platform more because one thing that people have with tourism in Kenya is that when you come, it's hard to change money and have the local currency. So Tripoli is trying to make it easier for people to come in with their own foreign currency and be able to transact easily. That's one of the things that Tripoli is promising. They launched in 2021, right? But then that business has grown, and Kenya's local travel market, which is projected to be what $749,000 in 2027. Um, so yeah, so Kenya's tourism is one of the biggest industry, um, foreign income for the whole of the country, and it's earning the country about 2.13 billion from it in 2022. East African country also expects the minus. Please, let's. This is what I was saying about East Africa. I don't know. I'm not going to go into this. I'm not going to go into the details. But to see how Kenya's tourism is giving the country 2.13 billion, they should be teaching tourism in East Africa. They should be leading. They should be leading tourism as a course, as a you should have a university dedicated to tourism. I'm not going to say any other thing apart from that. Thank you. With 2.4 million visitors, up to 2.1 million. Why are you going to study in 2021? Growing media. This is data. This is real data. So yeah. In regards to tourism, I only brought this here to shade somebody.
You're
It's meant
lucky
to be
that
good news. You sound angry. Like you sound pissed.
no, like I got is lucky that the references he's making will never listen to this. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the only good thing. I will explain after the pod. So we're looking to make a exclusive session of this pod. If you want to hear all the things we keep saying, I'll explain. I'll explain.
God forbid.
Let us know.
God
Let
forbid.
us know. Let us know. It's paid actually, but let us know.
It doesn't matter. People
Why
cannot
that
pay.
people
People
that one?
cannot pay
Yeah,
that much to hear the after this thing.
They
no,
will
it's
pay for
not.
it. They will pay for it. Don't worry. What's podcasting will handle it? We handle and manage podcast easily, make it
We
easy
could
for
just
busy
script that.
folks like us. No. What's podcast will do that? What's podcast is in charge of podcast management. We help busy folks and businesses handle their podcast. So it's one of the things we do easily. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. Anyway, this is it. Do you guys have thoughts in regards to tourism and how you think is a viable market, and did they do a right decision? Is it a company that you think would grow? That kind of thing. Your thoughts, please, before we move on to the next thing on the table.
I feel like they made a great choice for Kenya. I can't really say too
Mm-hmm.
much about tourism because, well, the country I reside in is not somewhere that I'd want to come as a tourist. So I can't give an insider's view on what tourism at its best would look like. But I
In
do know
Nigeria,
that, like,
you come tour. Now you go be the amusement too.
bro,
I
like,
swear,
in fact,
you go be the amusement.
it just took me back to some of the tweets that I saw after 2022 where they're like, what if Nigeria hosted the World Cup? And the first thing that came to my mind is people like Pogba and Vidal when when police arrest them for their hairstyle. Or
Oh my god.
like,
No.
bro,
Really got things say in a bad guy. Then you call Lagos first.
bro,
You
but the
hear
kind
all
of
these things?
billing, the kind of billing
Billion.
Messi receive, you say it's not coming
Oh,
again.
oh.
And like, so
Billion,
as it
bro.
is now, we're not built for a detailed view of this tourism thing. But at least I know as an outsider that Kenya has a lot of income coming from there. And if they are
Yeah.
going to expand their scope a bit, they can make it go beyond just tourism. I mean, there are students who would,
Go
leave
there to
Kenya
study tourism.
to study.
Yeah.
And aside that, there are people from Kenya who are going to go to other countries and study abroad. So, in case you're listening, this idea is for sale. Don't go and implement my idea. In case any of them is listening in the future, they can have the
Yeah.
idea of letting the financial switch go the other way around, where Kenyans can go outside Kenya with nothing but their currency in their pockets and be able to change it using their application and merchants anywhere else. It's an idea that has potential if they exploit thoroughly. So I feel like they're doing good for themselves. And the fact that they were able to enter a YC what's it called
Yeah.
accelerator
You
program,
get
that
like
also says well for themselves because I know YC is the top of the top when it comes to picking
picking
startups. They are
startups.
very picky.
I also feel the same way. Like I feel like for Kenya generally, this is probably a good thing. I know there are other startups doing this there as well. Um, I feel it's a good thing. I don't know the nuance, but I also feel it's going to be really difficult. Like banking is one of those fields that compliance can kill you. Not even the fact that you don't have customers. I will get to how compliance can kill you in a bit, but that's just another thing that we have to pair with. Hmm.
If compliance kills you, you're not meant to be in that space.
Okay, we'll check out the pairs very soon, and then we'll know what's up.
No, like at the end of the day, that's just the truth. Obviously, like as a founder, it's hard to keep up with the compliance, but it's like if you can't keep up with the compliance, then you shouldn't be there in the first place because you're a risky business. If you can't comply, you're a risky business.
Like, see, some of the things is how to make them work. Like, this is how to make it work and how to make it work for the users. Yeah, those are the things. Like, you want the business that you're working with to benefit. You want the users to benefit, and you want your own
Yeah,
to benefit.
but compliance help protects users, like because of, for example, like CBN, KYC processes, and all of these kinds of things. Like users are protected. Last week, I mean, when was it that we are talking about like how? Yeah, it was last week in our credit risk podcast. We're talking about like how certain fintech loan apps just they collect data where they not supposed to collect,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
it's because of compliance that those kinds of businesses will be limited and they will be stopped. Like if you leave businesses to do whatever they want, like they will carry your data, they'll carry your information, and they'll think about
Use it
what
for
how
passive
I
income.
like what they're gonna see
My
why your data they work for them.
Bash, sounds like you're calling somebody. Are you calling somebody out?
Not really. You know, this is a metaphysical problem, and I don't want to mark anybody's name, so I just prefer it.
Mm, mm, mm. As I
Mm,
said before, my
mm.
my theory on him being from Einstein's, probably true. Probably
I'm
true.
telling you, like, Bash talk that one now for me to go Facebook go for myself because
Ah.
Bro,
Wait, like
Uh,
what's the name of that app?
bing, 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 bing. What the fuck are you talking about? What did you say? Oh
It's okay, it's
God,
okay.
God.
It's okay. Like when I no catch up.
Yeah. We look at some something where you know through. Mastercard's direct bank. I wish Chego was here now. If I don't give you one man youth part like this, you don't
we
know.
know we don't catch up. This say we be Onana.
Bing, 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 bing. Oh,
Musa is
oh.
catching so many strays.
Catch up.
Unfortunately, I can't say the same
Una-
for Unana.
Oh God.
Bing,
Catch
bing,
up.
bing, bing, bing.
When I remember, these two catch up.
Ah, catch him. That's true. Oh, oh,
Wait
Kurovita.
again, was it for detecting COVID or which one?
Yes,
Catch him
now.
is for COVID.
Catch
Wait,
up is
which
for
one is
no
for?
catch up is for fire. I think it's for fire. Like
Yeah,
catch up.
fire. Catch him is for fire. Then
Not to
Kurovita is
catch
for
the
COVID.
fire. That's why they call it catch up.
You say Korobita.
You guys to go and listen to our mid episode. It's titled New Hostel versus Old Hostel. We had a reaction to it was a pitch on Lions Den, the Nigerian version, and a guy called Everistus was pitching his company. You should go watch it out. Um, yeah. So Mastercard,
You have
that
a solution
in
for all sectors.
all sectors, every single thing. I'm sure he has invented a fine condom somewhere that he's yet to release to prevent, excessive black people in the Africa. But I'm sure. Moving forward,
Okay.
eh?
Moving
I
forward.
said
Okay.
um,
Who is the harlot again?
what?
Okay. Is the harlot? Is the harlot?
This guy is funny.
It's
Every time
Dalot.
Carlos.
You know,
Jesus.
you need to get the reference. It's Dalot.
Kai,
Carlos.
Okay.
Kai.
I read the harlot. But anyway, move, moving forward. Mastercard's direct bank payment with Mono may boost Nigerian startup in race to profitability. So, meaning, all this we're reading from Tech Cabal, one of our favorite news blog that we mention here all the time. So, Mono is partnering with what Mastercard. So we have Visa card, Mastercard, all those card details is how they work. If you want to learn more about how these things work, check out the Not Just Design episode where I discuss banking as a service. I explain how banking as a service is. Link is in the description. But then Mastercard is the second largest payment network in the world, meaning a payment network where your card system works with your acquiring bank, your issuing bank, so that your card can work. Like the whole networking is like how you have Glow that I can call somebody using MTN and Airtel. Mastercard is like that network. Your card is basically like a SIM card. And also Mono being a fintech company is working with Mastercard. Take for example, Mono, like a bank, Access Bank, is working with Glow. In this case, it's not Glow, it is Mastercard. So
Ego,
the
let me
bank,
tell you, let
yeah.
me tell you something that might excite you. Mono
Wow.
in Spanish actually means monkey.
Well, well, well,
I was like,
well.
moving on.
Moving on. Ho, 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 ho.
Moving on. Go ahead.
Um, Open banking startup. So like Mono is an open banking startup that enables payment directly into your bank account without cards or USSD codes. Right. For Mono, this partnership is another leap forward in ways of profitability. In 2023, they moved from negative to positive gross profit, and they want to be profitable by the end of this year. The founder and CEO Abdul, interesting, told Tech about that the startup
You
expects to
tribalist,
achieve.
what is interesting about that? Eh? What is interesting? Tell me. Say what's
Calm
on
down,
your mind. Say
I
what
know
is
that
on
someone
your
was
mind. No,
like,
no, no,
what
no.
is
Ego. Say what is on
wait,
your
Because of
mind.
how you be both
wait,
racist and tribalist at the same time, like,
wait,
bro.
calm down,
no, no,
calm
no.
down.
Calm.
When Spanish he meant monkey, it was the same Musa that just suggested it to Ego. Ego no say anything.
Like
Like,
And then
I was just,
Abdul like said,
I
"Yeah,
was
actually,
translating it. I was translating like what it meant in my head, right? Like because
I didn't say anything. Musa is a
but
conservative.
Ego saw Abdul Hassan and he's like interesting.
Like, what am I supposed to say? I
it's
was
very
like,
interesting."
The company,
interesting.
If no no no
company
Ego,
has an interesting
if
idea
you
now.
foresee Temitope Adeoye, you for talk. If you
Well, that
foresee
sounds like a female name. I would have said interesting as well. But like, don't take me for it.
if
I
you
Oh
said
my
if
god,
you
interesting.
see
They
Emeka
just set you up. They set you up.
if you see Emeka in the bussy,
Mhm.
you say interesting.
Yes, I'll say interesting.
I beg.
If you see Evaristus,
Nah joke. Right on.
This is Borojo
moving
Lex
on.
Friedman. You want to drag me? The startup expects to achieve profitability by scaling the adoption of open finance tools. We have more partnership like this in the pipeline, so be expecting to see more. So the startup, like its competitors, have been expanding, focus on providing lenders with more banking API services, a wide range of fintechs to increase revenue. Right. So before partnership with Mastercard, they had partnered with Flutterwave, one of Ian's great achievements to enable merchants to receive payment through accounts as A2A option, which it calls direct pay with bank. According to Mono, its payment options have facilitated payment transactions exceeding 5 billion naira since its launch in 2022. Now, this is one thing I want to point out. Like, so you guys, let me know. I'm expecting like feedback from you guys. Is does transaction volume really matter? Because transaction volume is basically money that's passed through your account. Why
A
is that
lot.
a metric? Why
A
is that a
lot.
metric?
Transaction volume is not the
A
money.
lot.
Transaction value is the money. Transaction volume is how many of those
Okay,
transactions happened.
okay, this is
A lot.
value. Volume.
I'll
Oh
say
yeah,
from
explain.
the inside activity of a developer. Transaction volume is like what Musa had already explained. Value and volume are different. For volume now, these are the things that we use to train and catch fraudulent activities on anywhere. Because I mean, we all know how rampant, let me say, Yahoo is in the country,
Yeah.
and there's going to be tons of times where you see suspicious activity on it and on a lower tier account, and you won't be able to catch these things normally if you're not logging your transaction volumes. You're going to sweat, knowing how many billions of users you have. You understand? So in a case where
Okay.
something is reported, someone is reported, you want to be able to easily just bring up their transaction volume and see, okay, yes, because you going and maybe hitting a particular API to probably like hitting a distributed API to another bank, hitting it like 5 times a day, that's not normal. And it's going to be shown there in your receipts that yes, you went and you hit bamboo like 7 times today. That's not normal. After that, you did not go back for like 3 months, 4 months, came back again, hit it. It sounds like you're doing something fraudulent, you know.
but
The
if I
average user, that's the thing, like, because on average, everybody has a batch payment received at least once a month. You get, minus entrepreneurs, and all these things are already accounted for. So when one person starts acting out of line, their bank transaction activity starts, it's easier to fish them out because of the transaction
have a,
volumes being captured.
I have a
So,
question.
okay.
Those of you on the back
Just say
end that
something.
cover fraudulent activities without any other evidence, do you guys snitch to the police? Or do you guys talk to them one-on-one and say, oh, yeah, guy, we can switch to the police, so, but you understand now.
But you see, the thing is, there's a lot of regulations in
Okay.
Nigeria. So the moment something like that happens, and like we're able to raise up suspicious activity, first of all, your account will be locked or blocked. It will be flagged, and the EFCC will be notified of your details, your what's called NIN and BVN. I think BVN as a there because NIN, BVN, they basically do the same thing. Your BVN and that kind of information will be given to the EFCC to monitor you. So it's part of like regulation. You can't decide not to snitch. You to block the account. They tell the FCC to keep an eye on the person.
So when they send egg up 2 million, they will block his account.
Hey, God,
Piece of
no.
shit. You piece
Well-
of fucking shit. Fuck you. Fuck you.
I mean, Egov is a big man now. So if he gets 2 million cents once, all he has to do is upgrade his account and he'll be fine. But if he receives credit of like 60 million twice in 3 days, and then doesn't receive another credit for 4 months, that's when we'll know something isn't right.
People are not serious. I hang me on the stake. Hang me on the stake. I'm your savior. Do it. Thunder fire them. Oh my god.
My unit in the
My
post.
savior transaction limit no be 2 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's 5-4. Don't worry. Then before whatever they said, yeah. So thank you, Bash, for explaining. So is it something startups should put on tags and be proud of, like say, oh, this amount of money we facilitated, this amount of payments, blah 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 blah, 5 billion naira, 2 billion naira. Since
Well,
it's
yeah.
mostly
It's something that it's for it's something I call passive marketing. Like I said, I don't know if that's a real term in marketing world, but it's something that I like to call passive marketing because it's something that you want to put there and you want your wealthier customers to see it and be like, oh, impressive, and invest more into it. Yeah, because if by volume, your volume of transactions, like numbers that startups are putting there, that this is the amount of money that they processed and everything. If the number is stupid high, it tells your customers, at least the ones who are not going to be looking too deep under the sheet, that you have a lot of users, you process a lot of money, and you are fast, which is why people are putting in more money for you to process. You understand? It's kind of a flex thing you get. So it's just
Okay.
there for if you're going to start a financial based startup or something like that, you will want to put that's where you have reasonable numbers, please. If you possess it just make the whole world know you're not serious. But once you have sizable numbers, let everyone see it. It also makes investors want to invest more, because they know for sure that there is cash flow for you, and they are very, very likely to make their profits.
I think it's based on this point you just made about it's cash flow for you. I didn't think about it from the point of it is cash flow for you. In the moment, okay, you are able to facilitate this amount of payment. Your system is good enough. You get, probably you just have like 5 billionaires, right? And tell all of them to send 1 billion to each other through your
Five
through your
anymore.
platform. 5 very They should send 1 billion naira through your platform to each other, and you have 5 billion to facilitate the transaction.
Low
I don't
key,
think that's
that's the
going
way
to work.
Ponzi schemes work. Low key, aside Ponzi schemes, the NFT madness that happened in 2020, that's
Bro.
exactly the way it works. Like
Bro.
they are going to artificially create that volume, use it to pull in people, and the NFT madness
Cash
was
out.
built on that now. Yeah, and the cash out.
Let's talk about NFT on another episode. I wish Bash was here during crypto.
Yeah, when we had this guy Olayinka here, guy was really interesting because
Yeah.
this guy just released an episode. Tech Point released a recent episode. I made a video about it yesterday, and they were talking about like the NFC stuff and why he's dead and if he's going to come back. Now the guy there had a good mic, so he sounded professional. However, it sounded like corporate BS to me because I'm like, nah, like
Papa,
like
hey, let's walk back on what Egop just said. The guy had a good mic, so he sounded like he knew. Egop
he's
literally said like,
really
his mic made it seem as if he had sense.
No, he's richer than me. So let's not be like, oh, I'm not as rich as I'm not even half of a quarter of rich as he is, right? So he definitely probably got to where he is. He's an art collector for God's sake. Me, I'm a joke
Probably
collector.
got there with his BS. You never know.
Exactly. BSc, BSc. We
Yeah,
should
yeah,
add the
BS
C
guys.
here.
This
So I mean, I don't do that. So yeah, so probably, but I look at the NFT world and I'm like, please, I think we've moved past this BS. Like we've moved past it. Now that AI can create art easily, I don't think anybody would want to buy or purchase artificial art to be able to access one or two events.
You see
Even though
what you
that
just said
happens,
about fake transactional volumes? I bet you
yes,
if the likes of Board Ape were to rise again today and bring out those same fake transactional volumes they did for everybody, the exact way
yeah,
they said they did it last time, people will invest again. Because by the time you're seeing it,
through,
you're like,
through the
okay, so he
disclaimer.
took this picture, bought it at like $50, flipped it for 3K. The next guy took it for 3K and he flipped for 50K. By the time like you're seeing that on their this thing as part of their transaction volume and everything, in your mind, you're like, if you buy an ape now, it seems they are backup. So
you
if you
can
buy an
flip
ape,
it.
you're going to flip it and get car. And that's what got like 80% of the people
Then
who got
Logan Paul,
NFT into
they
NFT. You get
Logan
Mm,
now talk about it
like
on their
the point I was even talking about there, say, from the beginning, is
exactly.
that fake transaction volumes Egop mentioned. It's very, very doable and people do it.
It's fake. They have exactly what Prince just mentioned. They have people like Logan Paul that just come out and say BS on their not BS, but like they intentionally market this thing. Like if you listen to Logan Paul and you
latest
will know
BS.
that he's intentional. These guys are intentionally marketing this thing so that other people will buy. Like they are making money from the masses. Navaravi can say if you want to make money as a business person, you charge one person and then you use that same method to charge 2,000 more people. That's the fastest way to make money. That's exactly what they did. They bought it from one person and then used the same method to collect money from 2,000 or 1 million small people that didn't know anything and they just increase their money. This tie back to the thing about the transaction volume. So I think that's a marketing lesson I should even take down. So how can I and
That's not ethically right, so don't do it.
no, I can
Don't
argue
let them
I can
catch you,
argue you
Sha.
this.
You
No, no,
just
this
snitch
thing.
on
Don't get
podcast.
caught anyways.
No,
You
no,
want
no,
to
no, no.
be caught before you make money.
No, I don't think I'll fake. I'm not saying I'll fake my transaction volume. Hear what I'm saying now. What I'm saying is, everything is built on perception. Nothing really has value. It is all perceived value. Now, I read this. I wrote this research right based on the use of computers. There is something called TAM, which is the accept no, yeah, is acceptance model of computers, right? So the reason why it's easy for somebody in a factory to use a brand new machine that just came into the factory is because they've used another machine, probably of the same size, the same color, or probably with the same amount of functionalities. It may not be even exact. So the theory says that the fact that you've used a technology makes it easier to use another technology, even though they are in different fields. Is why we can easily switch from Apple, Mac to PC, even though they have different softwares, is because they have some things in similar, the same color, the same shape, that kind of thing, right? And it goes on to say that one of the things that help this theory is perceived value, in the sense that the value you think you are gaining from learning that thing is perceived. It is not real. It is what you think is real. It's the same thing with marketing. Is when people make, for example, podcasts, videos, companies, they make you feel the value is real. Like Apple, for example, will tell you the watch is going to help you feel better. So they show you a picture of somebody that is having in good shape, taking for a run, wearing the watch.
Wait,
They are
like it's
selling.
egg up. I think you're mixing a bunch of things together. Like you're saying
No, 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 no,
value
no. Let me
and
land. Let
like
me land. Let me land.
value.
Let me land. 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 Good. So um what they do right is after selling you all of that, they make you feel perceived value. They make you feel like you wear this watch, you will feel as healthy as this fake person that is pretending in this video, and making you want to buy it. Now it is not bad, it is called perceived value. The watch is not more valuable than the cheap one you have that does exactly the same thing. It's just perceived as it is. So it is like the
I
ideology behind
disagree.
it.
I disagree.
Explain why.
What do you mean? Like, do you know what? Like, do you know the value of? Yeah, like, yeah. So on the one hand, yes, like there's perceived value as in.
There's no one hand, there's no two hand, bro. You see that person, you say you disagree, and I'm telling you now that you're telling me it's one
It can
hand.
be
Which one is
both.
one
That's what
hand?
I'm trying to explain. In the sense that, like, what you like the value that you think. So me using, for example, a Mac and another
Yeah.
person using a Mac, right? Like
Mhm.
the value I can get out of my Mac, like I can, like run regression, I can do like
Yeah.
analytics, and another person might just be using Microsoft Word for it. Like you
Yeah.
can't tell me, oh my god, it's perceived value. No, I understand the value that's inherent in a MacBook, right? And I'm using that value to the fullest, or at least to
What
the extent to which I am using it. Now
I am
that
not
person,
saying, uh-huh,
yeah, but like
uh-huh,
what you just made by inferring on the example of the watch is that the
yeah.
watch in itself doesn't have the function that they say it has. That's like, oh,
No,
the person is overhyping. Like literally, an
they are
Apple
saying
Watch
if
can
you
save your life. It is the truth.
Samsung Watch can do that, Google Watch can do that.
Okay,
But listen,
okay, it can do that. But at the end of the day, like watches have function
bro, I'm
and
not
they
saying
have
it
those
doesn't have
inherent
value.
value.
I am not saying it doesn't have the value, right? I am saying they sell you they sell you the value that you wish you would get from it. Sometimes you would get that same value, not as if the thing doesn't
Yeah,
have
but
that
it's like
value,
they're selling you.
but they have
Like
to
nobody markets. Like I'm talking about the big like they do not market what is not the thing. Do you understand? Like they might exaggerate it a bit, but like when iPhone,
that is the exaggerator. They market what they want you to feel about it.
yeah, but
They see,
it's not like they focus on one aspect of it that like
yes,
they think will connect more with the people, but it's not like the way you're saying it is as if, oh my god, like value not actually did this thing. They're just trying to like bullshit
it's like,
everybody.
guys, see, is the Apple Vision Pro, for example, right? The Apple Vision Pro was sold with a lot
Wait,
of
wait. Have
perceived
you
value in the
used
sense of, oh, you
have
can
you
connect.
used and tested Apple Vision?
Nigga, I'm not saying it's not
Wait,
valuable into a
answer.
degree.
Have you
I've
used?
not. No, they shame me. No, they shame me. You don't use
Okay.
them. You don't use them. You don't use
Now me
them.
they talk about them. Now me they
No,
talk.
you don't use them. You don't use them.
Now me they talk about them. Now you won't bring them as example. So as you know, use them.
The,
Not
only-
use them as
the
example.
only thing where they don't use here now you. Now only man you they don't use win climb score. But go on.
Ah,
As you see, say, they follow you. You just come back like with the cheapest points. But at the end of it, like the thing is, when you are saying like it's perceived value, clarify what you mean when you say perceived value. Because the value that is being sold when marketing a product is just an like it's overemphasizing one aspect of the function of that product over many others. Like when Apple are talking
Overemphasizing is
about
enough for me. Overemphasizing is enough for me. Guy, they are selling you the potential of what it's going to have. They are selling you what they want you to perceive it is. Like, bro, I don't understand how to explain this thing. I've told you, say, I'm a philosopher. Eh? People may not understand what I say until I die, but I'll try my best to break it down while I'm alive. Is the
Nigga,
ah,
what?
is perceived value, bro. Is perceived value.
like right now, I'm even actually
Let's move
confused
on. We have a
like
lot. See,
use
Prince will soon
perceived
leave
value.
us.
Eh? So
We
okay,
have
define
we have
define
like
what
three
define
more
what you mean
things on
by
this
perceived
list.
value. Ego, define what you mean by perceived value. What like in your head, explain it in
I think
English.
both
Not
of you are defining the word perceived
Is the
differently.
value being sold to you?
the value being sold to me
I think we
cannot
should move forward from this topic.
no. The value being sold to me cannot be perceived value because the person that can perceive the value is me myself. So the value you sell to me cannot be the value that I perceive. It's like me putting value on what you have sold is that perceived value. You understand?
Hmm,
Philosopher,
A philosopher.
you know, I'm thinking in Aristotle, and it takes centuries.
Hey.
Wow. Yeah.
Just, anyways, on to the next.
You see that thing for the
Let's
top
move.
of your screen. I go.
Which thing I say?
Don't worry, don't go. I did see low network bandwidth. You don't go. No worry.
Yeah.
Na perceive low network. Allow.
What I'm saying is like these companies they emphasize on some things, they improve their aesthetics, they increase the perceived value,
That's
they
the
increase
At
it.
the
marketing
end of the
now.
day,
That is
it's all about the ability to sell.
Yes,
Let's
I'm
just
not
be
saying it's
fact.
a bad thing. Like I'm
It's
not
not a
saying
bad
that
thing,
is
and it's not
marketing.
imaginary.
Ego, you
It's
must
just market.
sell.
it's not.
The ability to
I
sell
know
water to a fish, the ability to sell time to a clock, that's what makes you
exactly.
very, very valuable. You understand? I feel like it's
It's
even
all
more
perceived.
important than the product itself because
Exactly.
it's not really about like a perceived value that is not there.
Mhm.
It's the ability to make your users perceive this value and say, you know what, I need a backbook in my life, even though what they are running is some technology that works best with Windows. The fact that they themselves can, you'd market to them such a way that they're like, yeah, no, I have no other choice. Mac is the way.
That's
Understand?
That is what I'm saying. That's what I'm
But
saying,
you
bro.
did not
That's what I've
say
been
it.
saying, bro. What
Please,
I've been saying is they are selling
and
you
Shagun,
like, oh fuck,
Bash
oh
just explain.
Jesus, this Bruno Lex Friedman will not allow me rest, bro. That's exactly what I've been saying since.
Was it only me that felt like that was not what I understood from what Egop said?
It is you. You see, two philosophers do not understand the same
Let's
concept.
let's go to what's
Let's just
next.
move on.
Moving on. Moving on.
How worried should people be about generation X? Is the economics.
You
So
can't
there are two
even
new
see.
books into the
Generation what?
generator
You can't even
X.
see.
Now you can't read this whole thing because it's
Gen
paid
X
and all
as
of
in
us
the
do not pay for it.
boomers.
No, Gen X, Gen Z, Gen Z, Gen Z, Gen Z,
Like
Gen
you
Z.
can't
Sorry.
see your
Oh,
philosophy
we.
or more.
Yeah, I can't see. I can't see. Sorry, this is Gen Z, like Generation Z. Yeah. So I will read just part of it in terms of like I will just focus on share your thoughts about the article because Musa mentioned some of these things in one voice note in the group chat. How worried should people be about Generation Z? Musa was ranting about how we basically don't have a say in politics. We don't have like a say in big tech. Only just
Hey,
recently.
contextualize
But
it very well because it can be taken out of context.
this liberalist, yeah, contralize them. Do the contralializing this thing.
What?
Do the contextualizing thing now. The
Just,
contextualize like, this thing based
just
Contextual.
on
slow down.
Oh
Now.
boy. Oh boy. Okay.
Allow her making talk. Just slow down. Let go. You
Like
can mute now.
piece of shit.
essentially, yeah. Like so, the thing, like the thing just vexed me. It's not that what they are saying does not have merit. By the way, like what is being said in the article has merit, right? But for me, is sometimes always about the positionality of certain things in the sense of, in this case, right? What we are seeing. Why did you remove it now? Ego?
Because you're already talking about it now.
Okay, like like the economist article is talking about how worried people should be about Generation Z, right? And like me, I was coming from the point of view that like at the end of the day, right? Just like with any other thing, new generations are born because there were previous generations. Like picking no they come up by himself, na person they come up picking, right? So who
Bing, bing,
don't come out
bing, 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 bing.
who don't come out that
Jesus would like to know your location.
Exactly. Joseph has questions.
They say because Joseph was a decent man, he sought to divorce her quietly.
Mm.
Anyways, the point is, um, it's the framing sometimes that I do not like in this kind of situations, right? Because it is they kind of externalize the problem of Gen Zs as if it's uniquely a Gen Z problem, as in like, yeah, you guys are just so messed up that you created your problems by yourself. But like that removes context, that removes responsibility, that removes accountability, and that even removes the ability to find a solution. Why? Because if you sell this narrative that like, oh my god, this Gen Z self, look at them, look at young children of nowadays, look at them, they don't understand. Like the moment you start selling that kind of narrative, what you are doing is that these younger people, like the Gen Zs or like the younger people you are talking to as at that point or referring to as at that point, right? Will unfortunately start seeing that like the problems might actually like we might be unique in that sense. We might be unique in the sense that like we're experiencing this kind of problems and it's only us, nobody can understand us, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Like, first of all, every single generation will have problems that the previous generation cannot understand. It's a given. It doesn't matter what you were born, when you were born. Like, your parents cannot understand you as a child, like by the time you're like a teenager in your 20s, they don't understand what you're doing. Like, why are you doing what you're doing? Like, they will never understand. Most especially like in our own generation, literally the booming of internet just started, like technological devices just started. So it is really like it increases the scale of what it means. Like, we have actually like tweaked a bit what it meant to be a human being to a large degree. Like, before the internet and before like technologies came to be, right? Like, a lot of human interactions, a lot of societal interactions, communal interactions, etc., right, will be understood to an extent. Like, you can really understand what is happening in the to the extent that like you have seen this before. As in, you have actually seen, oh, babe come out, leave guy, like babe come out from parents' house, go sleep with guy impregnate
Babe
girl,
carry
and
belly,
then
babe
exactly
come
like
back,
you
babe
have
go
seen this
back.
kind of things. But like these days, it's like, no, your children literally get anxiety and they get die, or they get depression and they get depression die, and you're like, but this guy did the house all the time. Like, Baba no they come out, Baba no they do anything. Like, so the scale of the problem has changed because like what it means to be a human being in like community and a society has also been tweaked, like from the post-internet and
Mm,
digital world. And like, so for me, it's like, first of all, if you understand that every generation will always be different, like you will not understand, even though, even in the past it was easier to understand, but like, let's acknowledge that first. Second is, let's acknowledge context. Context being that like we are coming from something. We are coming from a time whereby people could interact to a time whereby like interactions has changed, sort of, whereby like people have more like put a lot of meaning, a lot of value, a lot of like their worth on like digital narratives and like their digital characters and like their digital life, all of that thing. Let's acknowledge that. The third thing you have to acknowledge is the fact that the people, if you actually consider it, the people that created the infrastructure, that created the technologies, that created the systems to which these so-called Gen Zs have problems, boomers, Gen X, millennials. Like, they are the ones that finance the companies such as TikTok, Uber, and TikTok, Instagram,
you get
Facebook.
now. This
They
is
are
where
the
I come in.
ones.
All what you have been saying since your mic has been helping you. Now this is where you're making sense. Now what I'm saying is, see, the cause of this problem, that why they don't understand us, is because they made us this way, bro. They made us this way. I've been
Look,
thinking.
I don't think that's quite the case. And I agree with what Musa said prior. No two generations will ever understand each other. I myself
Yes,
personally, I don't understand the boomers. They were the consumers who consumed a lot of our resources today and left us and the millennials in struggle. The millennials are the ones who most likely grew up in the era of Abacha and war. They grew up in autocracy, and in some other countries they also saw some different things. We are the ones who are being born into this thing,
abject poverty.
a globalized planet and some sorts of abject for the first time. So, like, what they saw as kids is not what we see as kids. What they went through is not what we're going through. So they can't even assume they want to understand how we operate when they've never been in these waters before. No two generations can understand each other. And I feel like the boomers and the millennials just don't want to accept the fact that if they want that there is not a problem with Gen Z, they just need to understand that eras have changed.
Yeah, but
Bing,
That's
bing,
the honest
bing,
truth.
for me, like, it's
bing, bing, bing.
Wait,
they
calm
don't.
down. No, is the problem. Oh.
What's the
Why is
problem?
the problem? So if I tell me Taylor Swift is the biggest artist in the world, they tell me there's no problem.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
That's the
That's
best.
That's it.
perceived value.
See, that's a Gen Alpha problem.
That's
those are the
perceived
people
value.
after us. Gen Alpha.
See what I'm saying by perceived value? Now they've deceived them to think Taylor Swift is as you see, that's a big problem.
But
As
see,
according
like
to
the issue here,
The
the
Swift
issue is
thing too is
actually very big.
marketing because I mean she's been able to this thing. Her music makes her people feel like she's like them. She's been able to become relatable to these guys. I mean, to an extent, Slim Shady had the same issue. That's why he sang this song "Stan" back in 2002. Because by the time they feel like, yeah, your music relates with me, it resonates with me, I feel that way too. It's just a marketing thing, and that's what Taylor did. She has been able to convince millions of people around the world that,
But
yeah,
why
I
are
feel that
Gen
way
Alpha
too.
to heartbreak music already? When some men have not had a relationship yet, Gen Alpha don't they relate to.
You see, that's the difference. That's one slight difference between us and Gen Alpha. We didn't follow women until, well, I don't know about you, but
We go up to Naruto.
we grew
yes,
up,
we grew up to
Oh,
Naruto, we
I'm
grew
I'm
up to
very
Bleach.
sure.
You
I'm
get
very
Gen
sure
Alpha on the
most
other
of us have
hand.
the same background history.
no be woman
Gen
with the
Alpha
fight.
on the other hand, they met some of these other things early, and it's the same philosophy I'm talking about here now, where no two generations can understand each other because things were different.
So bash,
What
bash,
we
bash.
grew up on, yeah.
Like I'm not like so can understand this other is a big like it's a bit like I think if you put the effort you can try first of all if you just talk to the people in the generation you get a better perspective, right? You might not be able to experience what they are saying or you can have knowledge about like with the things that they're experiencing and you can like mentally put yourself in their shoes even though like it's not exactly the same thing, right?
You
So
know, like, okay, sorry. Like I said, I agree with what you're saying now, is to talk to them and be able to understand them, right? But for some, let me put it like this: Gen X and the millennials are like, if any of my parents are listening to this, I'm not talking to you. If any of my mentors are
They,
listening to this, you are not involved, please. But
uh,
these two are some of the worst two predecessors a generation can have. Because for Gen X now, a lot of their philosophies were built on autocracy and a lot of it was on dictatorship. At least I see it in the workspace here, where to an extent, if a Gen X boss was talking to his millennial employee and he's speaking out of line, you are a married man and you say you have children at home, you're coming to do. I've seen these things happen. And then the millennial man is just like, thank you, sir. Yes, sir. You get they swallow everything. But from a Gen Z context, we tend to know what we're worth. You understand? That's why a lot of people assume we are unworkable with. These last two generations that came up, they have a lot of a mixture of trauma and a mixture of pride within them that they had not let go. So coming to a new set who sort of connected with each other on a, like I said, a globalized village and sort
the
of
internet.
collectively know, yes, and they sort of collectively know their worth. It's something that a Gen X or a millennial will not understand. Because to a millennial, when I was in office, when I was working, my boss used to abuse me. So now that I'm in a place of power, why will I be telling this Gen Z something and he'll be talking back at me? You understand?
Yeah, yeah. It's
And
like
like
senior student,
I
junior
resigned.
it,
student.
it will feel like that time where first sets don't use power finish for everything. You reach our top,
Yeah,
you start to go
yeah,
cut our
yeah.
way.
You get like, I mean, let's even use that ourselves as an example. The likes of Kenechukwu or Ruche. Shout out to him. If I see him today, we're going to fight. The
Yeah.
likes of him and the things they did now, we
We
during
we
our
should we
time.
should we should we should one back turn a fine. Yeah, easy.
Exactly. Like a lot of those guys were operating the way a Gen X would operate with their younger and this thing.
If
Because
I
that's
start
probably what has been passed down from the Gen X
if I
schools
start
when those guys
listening
were in
to
school.
episode, I will use list them.
Ah,
They plenty.
blowout God.
I need to be
Prince
there,
and
please.
Shego no go finish
I
today.
need
Now
to be
terrorists
there.
did that blow house. No be people.
I
Now
need to
terrorists.
be there. Yellow House was chill,
Now
but
next
some of those terrorists in your blue house and this thing
Guy, or more
they used to
blowout
come all the
nah.
way here to come and terrorize us. Like, do you know how bad that was? They
Blowout are
fucked you guys
terrorists
up
now.
and they weren't satisfied. Like, they'll come all the way to old hostels, come and fuck us up too.
Do you get? No worry, no worry. The harlot, no worry. We go fine. We dey fine. No worry. We no need gym.
Like 21 Savage,
No worry.
like
We go chop
21
blow.
Savage once said on a song, This ain't UFC. This chopper came with an extension. No be by gene. We have weapons for a
Nah,
reason.
never bro. I swear, never Jim. You come to a gunfight with bro. You collect before you throw. Oh, I dey drop lines. Don't leave me. Don't leave me.
Only
Oh,
you say
oh,
something.
oh,
See,
Only
oh,
this
you dey
place.
oh.
hype yourself. Philosopher,
Shadow
eh?
enters to Diego.
Yeah. No, I go. You know, say I don't drop two singles now.
All right,
Oh,
so
Anyways,
jeez.
back
I
to what we were
family.
yes,
saying.
Yeah.
Back to what we were saying. Musa, I feel like the fact that Gen X and Gen Y
Move on, move on. Hello.
were raised with that. Hello? Am I audible?
Eh?
Oh, go on, my network. Go on.
Okay. Like I said, the fact that Gen X and Gen Y were raised with that kind of military-esque mentality where like you dare not do some things to someone older than you dare not be in the living room when your dad is around, you dare not, you get some of all those things we call
Yeah.
tradition. And we are now just sitting down and looking at it like, honestly speaking, this is crap. It doesn't make any sense. What if I just don't do it? Nothing happens. So like that's what they fail to process. I've been wired to think this way. You must do things exactly this way, or you will be abused and you must smile about it. And we are not. Shago is not just a Yoruba thing now.
It's
It's
everywhere.
everywhere.
It's
It's
everywhere.
everywhere. It's
Like,
everywhere.
if my
It's
mom is
everywhere.
watching news, I dare not touch the remote, even if I want to fix it. Why would I touch remote?
And the
Does
fact,
you are touching
like
remote? Oh, you
me
want to
who
you want to pursue me out of my parlor? Nah.
me who is talking about it from like a professional point of view. I've never worked for a Yoruba person before. All my bosses have been Igbo. And like
Nice.
the one I resigned from that, they were like, they won't give me any reference and behaving arrogant. So who do I think I am to work out? It was an Igbo woman I was working with. It's not a Yoruba thing. It's just the way they all were. That's the honest truth.
No worry, we're all big. Well, we're all bigots, misogynists, feminists, liberals, Democrats, Republicans, PDP and APC. All of us are the same thing. So yeah, yeah. I know. Let's. Sometimes I say, look. So sometimes I start a sentence and I don't know where it's
Midway,
going
you
to end.
discover that you have not stopped.
No, I don't know where it's going to end. But then, like it always ends up. Yeah, I'll stop there. I'll stop there. Yeah, that's a reference to The Office. If you've watched The Office. Anyway, that's just it. That's just it. In terms of the workplace, speaking of like professionally, I have had Gen Z bosses. I've known millennial bosses. Basically, my bosses have always been nice. They have been women. They have been women. Funny enough, and they have been nice. And they've been nice. I've not had that issue yet. Like the issue Bash explained
It's
that.
not
Yeah,
Hopefully,
yeah.
yet.
I
Are
hope
you
you don't
waiting
have
for
it.
it?
I think it's inevitable with the line of work I'm going into. Like recently, somebody who I worked with, I think that person messed me up. Like that person really did
It's okay.
me
It's okay.
shaggy
It's okay.
shaggy.
It's okay. It's okay.
No, no, no. Like it was a deal. Like they told me, "Hey, you've done work for me.
That
I
look,
gave
what
you
are you
sample of the
cooking?
work. You saw it, and no, like they saw the work. They didn't. They didn't reply me. Right? They didn't give me any negative feedback. They liked it multiple times. Then time for you to like balance up the pay, and you're telling me there's an issue with it, and I'm like, nah, you know what? Keep it. Nah, just keep it. I'll take my L, learn my lesson, and move on to the next. So these are one of those things. Those are the only ones I've experienced, right? And these are from these previous generations where I'm like, I see what you're doing,
I
right?
think
But,
the
but
bulletproof way, so like in all of this, I think the most important thing I've learned, first of all, I honestly feel like, I mean, there needs to be a lot of humility from both sides. Like Gen Zers, like need to be humble in a lot of ways, but also like previous generations. I think obviously like the problem with previous generations is that they kind of feel like they need to be worshipped and everything they say must be done, and they should not be questioned. That's why I think there's like a problem because first of all, like we're in such a world that you will have many mistakes as a Gen X. In fact, the more boomer you are, the more mistakes you make in our present reality because you don't even like just so many things that you don't understand. to begin with. Like, yeah, you might have the resources and everything, but like, oh, when it comes to building technology, when it comes to like building certain systems, when it comes to building certain institutions, like the world has changed so much. And if you have not kept yourself updated with these things, like your ideas are so backward and they are so
It's
out of date. They're like in
eating the
different
fruits.
context entirely, right? And so to really understand how the world is, you have to talk to people that are engaging with the present like times and like are also like engaging with like the future times, etc. And you need humility to do that, like as a 50-year old, 60-year-old, 30, 40-year-old, right? But at the same time, like
I
there's
think
just
another thing here, yeah, I think another thing here is eating the fruit of your labor. Like these guys feel this is the time where they are supposed to eat. You see them, you respect them because they believe time where you were when they were your age, they were working their ass off. So now, even though they probably may not have a Maserati or whatever, they believe they deserve that respect for just existing this long enough. It's kind of okay. It's now for me to reap my fruit of labor. So if you see me work, if you're working with me in the office, respect the fuck out of me, even though I'm probably leading you in the wrong way or something. I deserve it because I've lived long enough. I think that's another thing. I think that thing also play on us as well because we can't all be working this hard, and then when we get to that point we will be driving our own Tesla, whatever at that time, but then we'll also feel like we deserve that respect for being able to like stay this long and like be at least to a degree relevant enough. I think that's where that thing may be coming from as well. So yeah, that's
at the
that
end of the day, like for
yeah.
me, like I just want to be in a world that there's peace and love, honestly speaking. And
Those the Bruno Lex man, that's not possible.
I've come to the acceptance that will never happen,
That would never happen.
and I just need to make the most of the world I'm in right now.
Musa,
I
Be
swear.
on the winning side
Musa,
of every fight. Those who
Musa,
have never known peace and those who have never known war have
Jesus
completely different
Christ.
values.
Oh wow.
Prince, you know
Okay.
who
this
said
guy
that?
is giving us
I've
a
dealt with
breakdown
a
of
lot of
this.
pessimists. Eh?
Musa Katan, will you rather choose a world of love or Man U win treble this season?
First of all, man, you cannot, no matter what he
Wait,
chooses.
calm down. Now let Musa choose.
A world of love.
Or
Okay.
Man U win treble this season. This season, after all the insult what happened today,
A
Man U win treble.
world. A world of love.
Oh,
It's because
Yeah.
Man U is not
Musa,
close to
I'm
win.
touched.
That's not possible. That's
Musa,
why.
I'm touched. I'm touched.
Those
Because
See,
those those
last
pussies are
last,
too.
I think like as Gen Zs, see the thing about Gen Zs also is that like the funny thing is that a lot of Gen Zs are just talking like they're just blabbing their mouths and like have
You
too much
get
ego. Let me land.
exact.
Wait,
That's
Edward, let me
another
land. Let
thing.
me land. Let me land.
Sorry,
Let me land. Let me
sorry,
land.
sorry,
A
sorry.
lot of Gen Z, first of all, baby girl, baby boy, you're in your early 20s, right? Me
You
too.
know nothing, Jon Snow.
Like, you know, no, thank you. Like, you actually know nothing. You don't actually know anything. First of all, you don't get political power, you don't get economic power, you don't get financial, like, you don't have any power. Be honest with yourself. Like, you have nothing. You actually have nothing in this life. You're still in your father's house, your mother's, like, down. Like, calm down first. And I think the best way to go is to ensure you are the most valuable person you can become. Because what I've learned in life, Boomer X, whatever it may be, is
How
that
many
like
life have you lived?
what I've learned in my short time in life and from working with
Good.
people is that like the most important thing a human being can have, right, is value. When people can see you and like they can see value in X or Y or Z or X and Y, X, Y, and Z, when they do that, right, like you have an edge, you have like a competitive advantage automatically. So, Gen Z, first of all, cool your blood. Calm down. Like all of us here are Gen Z, but like calm down and cool your blood because when the chaff starts to remove from the wheat, when we enter our 30s, you will know.
Exact. See,
When we
that's
enter
another
our
thing I want to
30s,
say is like, it's a lot of people saying a lot of BS. Especially, I posted something recently on the internet. It's like most of the tech people on Twitter or everywhere else are spitting bullshit BS, rubbish. Like they are criticizing companies, startups, founders, but they have never built anything aside their unfailing relationship. Nothing, right? So like that is my point on like
yeah,
as much
fantastic.
you see.
I say, or their football fantasy.
or their football fantasy. In as much as we are like, first of all, we understand that these boomers on this Gen X have their own lack of understanding for our generation. We can clearly see that ourselves, we have a lot of BS people that are claiming to know things. A lot of people are teaching people. Like, how are you 20 whatever and you're teaching people how to unlock their destiny? You have no, your brain cells
I
have
don't
not
think
finished,
that guy was
your frontal lobe have not finished developing yet. Do
You
you
know,
get?
this is one of the issues that comes with, and I say, you know, there's a theory that is factual. Every new technology brings in a new kind of problem. Every
Yeah,
new technological boom. The Iron Age brought about swords and killing, and it made wars more large scale. The cars brought in motor accidents, ships increased the rate of flying. So for the internet era now, I feel like clout, I think
drugs,
that's what they call it.
NASCAR.
Is it clout or just the ability, the willingness to run your mouth, get likes, and feel validated? Is that issue that it has brought in? Unfortunately, it came in with us. That's why a lot of people would feel comfortable saying anything to anyone about anything. So far, they get their likes. So far, they feel validated. So far, you know, someone backs it
Bro,
up,
that
feeds
thing
that
is
clout.
dangerous, eh?
They'll be like,
Like,
yeah,
God Almighty. Like, one of the reasons why I even had to leave like all social media is that I think the most dangerous thing that can happen to you in life is to become too popular too early. Like when a lot of people know you too early, like when you have too much clout too early, but like inside you, you know value no day. Like inside you know content no day. This like you don't have content at all. And yeah, you can say that I'm going to learn on the job or anything, but it's like I rather be on the side of let me create and get the content and value first. Then, if I blow, oh, good. If I don't blow, at least I'm satisfied with myself that I'm valuable and I have content inside. But like our generation, like what you said, Bash, when mouth open, boom, it's like they just keep going
Yes,
and going, and they will insult anybody and anybody. Like,
just to
if
get that shit, guy.
you like
And
a bank
it's
manager you that is what like an intern, you are insulting bank manager. Don't have sense. Like you that just start, like you are in final year, you are insulting a senator or a minister. Like I understand where your anger is coming from, but baby girl, baby boy, calm down and like access
a
where
lot, a
access
lot.
where those people are and like think first. You can't just be going on like just spinning and talking without reflecting about life in itself.
About your own life, not even life. Is since I started like working on One's podcast, and so I started like officially like building this startup. I would say the way I give feedback on the way things go, right, I've changed totally. Like when I see a startup having an issue, when I see a marketing not going well, my thinking process of why is this thing bad has changed. Now I'm not thinking they are BS and they are bullshit and they are not doing anything important. I'm thinking there's something somewhere that is wrong. They're probably running an experiment and they have time to grow, right? You see, when I started design, then you see a lot of designers bullshitting a lot of startups because they are shitty designs. Now I'm looking at them, I'm like, the reason why their design is shitty is not because there are no designers they can hire, it's because it is not a priority for that design to be as beautiful as you want it to be. As long as that MVP works and they can test with 100 people, they can be able to raise money. They can hire you motherfuckers to make it look good. But without this understanding, I'm in that space where I'm like, oh, this company is bullshit. So then to hire the designer to do this, to do
you
that.
know
I'm
my
like,
favorite, Egop, you know my favorite part of what you just said.
well,
To a large extent, the people who critique are not user experience specialists, so they don't even know what a good design looks like.
exactly.
I remember the era you're talking about now, not so long ago. You get where they'll critique a company, and some people took it a step further, where they'll be like, you know what, felt bored. I'm going to recreate this company, this and make it good. And by the time I'm
Exactly.
like, at least in my few, I don't even know too much myself, but like with the little I know, I'm looking at
So
it and
sorry,
I'm like,
Bash.
the original
Sorry to
design is
interrupt.
better.
So
Yeah.
you go continue now. Genius go write in test now. Genius, good luck. Oh.
Yeah, Prince is going to write his exam now. So good
No
luck,
killing, man.
Prince.
You've got this.
Take care, take care. You don't got anything. You don't have a choice. You're a black man. You fail or you come back home.
If you like no pass, you go
Fuck
back
you.
Nigeria.
So you
No,
pass
first,
or you come back home.
the question is it A minus or A plus, no be A.
Ah.
Oh no 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 no. Kekere
Mm.
lion, the wisest lion in the east, and
Mm.
now he's in the US as well. So yeah,
Anyways, Bash, you were saying.
Anyways, like I said, like it's very, very easy to critique something when you don't understand why it's like that. Like, I mean, you would see a lot of times too, like when maybe your system maintenance is going on for a platform, or maybe a bank transaction, something went down for a few seconds, and you see a backend developer who's just learning Node.js for the first time, saying these people are not serious. If it's got down, punish them. Is this
you
this
get
this? Do you know what they are maintaining there? Like, have you taken a peek at
to understand
some of
like
some of the services these guys run, some of the batches, some of the processing party is genuinely terrifying. I won't even lie to you. Like the first job I did, like it wasn't even something close to as big as some of these well-known platforms. But the number of like the folder structure, it was unreal for me. And like, so this is the number of things they are running. This is the number of things they are maintaining. This aside what you yourself from your own end is seeing. So it's like I say, it's very easy for people to criticize what they don't understand or what they've never actually attempted.
yeah, and that's the
That's
problem
the
with
same
Gen Z.
reason why someone like Musa now will criticize Scott McTominay.
No be this Bash. No be this Bash. We just the yan mad wake dust.
You know what? I'll allow football. I'll allow that one. But still, on a real level, that's the reason why
But
we're very,
footballers
very
they suffer.
fond of.
Oh. Guys, there's cyberbullying for footballers.
No,
But
wait,
that's another conversation.
I said it like a joke, but that's another example of what we're saying now. In the older era, the era of them, Raul, the Inzaghi, and those guys who played in the early 20s, you notice that a lot of them have just their legacies and everything. There seems to be more failed footballers today than then. It's actually the exact same thing we're talking about here. It's the case of, he's saying, well, this guy knows Sabi play anything himself. Or even me with my pregnancy, I'm better than you. I will cut in and take that shot. This guy, Sabi. And that's the reason why, like, it has exponentially gone up in recent times. It's the exact same thing we're talking about,
Emotions are
but
high.
in their own sector.
Shego, Shego, what's up? Are you done with your meeting?
Yeah. I don't disconnect my mic now because I need to plug my system.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I agree with you. Bash, you're muted by the way. I agree with you, Bash. Like it's one of I think it's a problem that we have. It's a problem we can think of more like I'd be more I think it's more be more aware that there's a potential for you to be in this position than for you to criticize. That's why I will urge every single person as much as possible to read Ego is the Enemy. It's my favorite book of all time in my whole life. Ego is the Enemy.
How many
And
you don't read?
I read, bro. I read. Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday and Obstacle is the Way. Like I've read books, right? Like and that book is always on my mind, like all the time. Um so yeah, please, if you can, like Ego is the Enemy is not just a book that talks about like oh, your ego. It tells you definitions on how you can see ego play out in different characters, and you could know that okay, this thing is the reason why I'm doing it is just to push my ego. It's not necessarily because it's important. Sometimes ego is good, but then it's just you be aware of what it could be, like what it's pushing you to do. Like for Gen Z's, I want to get 200 followers, 300 followers. Let's just say let's make the content better. Like don't you just do that? Like I want to make this content better. I want somebody to watch it and tell me I like this content
It's called
because it's better.
stoicism.
Hello, Shago.
I can hear you.
Okay. I didn't hear what you said. I didn't hear what you said. That's why. Um,
I
but
said it's
yeah,
called stoicism.
stoicism. But please, if you can anywhere, read Ego's Enemy, consume my holidays, stoic daily stoic podcast. As regular, what's podcasting newsletters on Substack will give you recommendation on interesting podcasts if you like. So check that in the description as well. So we have like podcasts that can
Sell
help
your
you understand those things.
market.
So yeah, that's
If you allow
just
this guy, he go sell in market for national television. God.
any fucking time, bro. Always stay strapped. Always stay strapped. So with that being said, we are on the last topic of the day, the pair sunset. Um, Trojan and Chika. The pair basically was a company or is a company
180 more.
is a company or was a company that allows you to make payments using wallets in between banks basically. I think they are more of a B2B B2C. Please correct me if I'm wrong if you're here. And what they do is they allow you to make payments across wallets. So they've been saying that for April 1st, now I don't know if this is April Fool or not, but I believe it should be true. They are holding significant meaning to all blah blah blah. A day of playful pranks, a nod to our founding date, perhaps a subtle homepage to Apple's beginnings. Yet, regrettable, it also marks the sunset of our journey. We embarked on a mission to let me bring up my Chris Williams. If I actually want to be this guy, I have to be
I don't
we
understand.
embarked on a mission to create something on press and making payments for goods and services directly from this wallet. Yet, we soon realized that exceptional technology alone wasn't sufficient. Our unique service had its challenges. The first being compliance issues that hundreds of us from launching key wallets providers or maintaining their services. Additionally, the overall acceptance of wallets as a viable payment option didn't grow as rapidly as we hoped. This meant we had to spend a lot more time resources, educating people about what we do. Faced with these challenges, we needed to take a key decision to do a hard pivot, an M&A or return capital to investors. After carefully weighing our options, we decided that returning the remaining capital to investors was the best decision. Meaning, they gave the people who gave them money back, they gave them back their remaining money. We could not align our products with the market needs at our current size and scale. What does this mean for our customers? The pair will be placed on maintenance mode for the interim. We will work to maintain the platform as long as possible until we discover a new home for it. A big thank you to our customers, employees, past and present, our investors, the tech community, and everyone who believed in us and contributed to our journey. In our bid to chase the stars, we must realign and focus on what matters. Love, Trojan, and Cheeky. Um, do you guys have thoughts on the pair closing down? If you've used their service, if you have an idea of how their service works, any of those stuff.
I've not used this service before, but nonetheless, it's very, very heartbreaking when these kind of things happen. I don't even lie, because it just brought me back to the laser pay era, and I
Yeah,
feel like
it's
they went
Juku.
through a similar struggle before everything eventually folded down. I am genuinely like my heart goes out to to the founders, to the CEO himself, and honestly, this period is was always going to be very difficult for startups, especially financial startups. The fluctuation of currency has affected so many of their operations that to an extent sometimes their profits actually turn out to be losses
Yeah,
because it's really been a difficult time for all of them, and I hope they're all going to be fine. Like
and
condolences to them.
one thing that is like is at least is a common denominator between the pair and Njuku startup is more on like delivery and like the customers, right? So for Njuku, it was more like the idea was good, but they had to teach people how to use it more. Like I don't think the people had advanced enough to use that technology. Africans generally were not advanced enough to have small businesses use that kind of technology yet. And the
And
pair too is the same.
that
Yeah.
is a risk that everybody trying to who is this? Oh god. Anyways, that's a risk that every how will I say
The man
founder
don't find the
so
other
far
name.
you're doing something generic. it's a risk you face. I mean, I read about a company then before YouTube launched, like a few years before YouTube launched, who their idea, their business idea then was a place on the internet where people could upload videos, watch these videos, and download these videos back. And that was generically the idea that they were building on. They had a working platform, but they didn't know how to start teaching people how to use it. People were not ready to start watching things like
Using
that,
it.
and they didn't understand. Yes, and for some reason, for that same reason, everything they did crashed to the ground. They got bridge fundings, but they couldn't save anything, and they had to close up, return
Yeah.
everything, and then a few years passed, like I think 2 3 years. It's not even that long, and YouTube comes in, huge success. Everybody loves it. It's Google's what's going, and they go everywhere.
Yeah. Timing,
Like
bro. Timing,
timing
bro.
is
Is this
very, very, very important. I'm confident that if LaserPay launched a few years later, they will still be here today.
if LaserPay, let's say LaserPay launch in a period of time where SMEs in Africa are stable, right? They are stable, right? They
Yes,
can easily LaserPay would go endlessly high. Now the issue is that these
endless.
SMEs, they are not stable, right? So like they can't start taking risks to use all this. They can't even acquire and like save customers that are too far from them, right? So that's another thing with the whole thing. But that's
But I think it's good that like one thing that
also, and the pay.
oh man, I got
So I
mute.
believe like the guys are like no, the guys are good. They are
Did
good
bro
at what they
just
are
glitch in and
doing.
out?
It's my network. They got funded $1.2 million, bro. Yeah, I did. I'm back. $1.2 million, bro. $1.2 million. Um, I know that this is a good time for them to do greater stuff. But then again, it also points and is like a stain where investors will be like, is Africa investing in Africa a hoax or is not? Um, I think I think we're in a bubble.
It's not, see, like at the end of the day, products are for consumers. The problem, I like, in my own opinion, well, I will just tell people to go and read first of all Prosperity Paradox, which talks about like understanding how to think about the African markets at the end of the day. That's like what I understand from the book, right? And also like creating new markets, etc. Like products are for consumers, whether you're B2B or B2C. Like as a B2B, your consumers are other businesses. As a B2C, your consumers are other like actual consumers, individual human
Mhm.
beings, right? And like at each time, the important question you need to ask yourself is like, what kind of consumers are your consumers? Right? Like you cannot sell things to a consumer when the consumer cannot afford to buy that thing, number one. You cannot sell things to consumers if your consumers find it too cumbersome and complicated. You cannot find things to consumers if your consumers does not see its usefulness in your daily life. Like I think for me, what how I'm seeing is that like all the failed businesses, and by the way, as I said like during the week in our group, the normal thing is for businesses to fail. The anomaly is for businesses to succeed. If 9 out of 10 businesses are failing, you are the outlier if your business is working. Like you are the outlier based
Yeah.
on based on the information, right? So it's more like I'm thinking of it more from okay, for all the businesses that has failed, what can we learn about how they targeted consumers? And how can that then lead us to understand African consumers better? I mean, technically speaking, yes, from a investment, oh, I gave you 1 million, I gave you 3M, I gave you 10M. It has crashed, right? Like there's no return for like 3 businesses, 4 businesses, 5 businesses, 6 businesses. We are seeing more and more businesses that are doing the same thing. We also have to like on the one hand, as I said, businesses fail is the normal thing. The second hand, this is the first time whereby like Africa is having like a in quotes funding, like funding in startups becomes a thing.
Funding, yeah,
Like
funding rain,
funding
guys,
as
like
a
a whole
thing.
boom, a whole
Exact
boom,
funding
bro.
as a thing just started for us, right? So this is the other thing. And like finally is that consumers are what needs to be improved. The quality of Africans is what needs
Mm,
to improve at the end of the day.
the bottom line, the thing is that most of these products are good products. the people, as you said, the people are not just there yet. The timing is not just there yet. It's like the way they are saying, oh, they want. I heard this news that they want to improve AI, whatever, whatever, for Africa. I'm like, this is a good idea, but I'm telling you, majority of these people are not there yet. They don't have purchasing power to purchase that thing, right? Why is it that if you create a GPU chip in Africa, you will probably die? It's because the people don't have money to be buying GPU chips. They don't, so they will definitely die out. So this is just one of those things. I'm like, bro, the consumers, as you said, and the people are not there yet, and the timing needs to be perfect. The timing is another thing that is just, I think, pair timing is what's causing the issue that they have. And then Trojan, the same thing. Even I was talking to DropX CEO, Praise. He closed his startup as well last year, and he was like, one thing many people get wrong is they are modeling the VC system, startups ecosystem that they have in the US and Europe with the one we have in Africa. That first of all, the people is different. The people, check out episode 6 of the Not Just Design podcast. Is not just design, episode 6, and season 2, sorry, season 2, episode 6. And he was like, the people is different. So like you have different people, so the markets and the system will be different. In US, they have high purchasing power, so you can come up with an AI startup that does one thing and charge $12 a month and make $1 million a year. You can't do that in Africa. They don't have $12 to spend. Nobody has that. So you'll be losing if you try giving an AI to do one thing for $12 a month. My heart goes to these guys. I believe I wish I could have a podcast with them where I discuss and they can tell me the details of like what happened. I'm not sure they will, but hopefully that works out. I reach out to them soon and like get hearing from them. But yeah, that's just it. That's just on my end. Um, anybody has any final thoughts to share in regards to this? I think that's most of the thing we have. I'm not going to cover this one. I already spent like 3 hours here already. Any other interesting stuff we'd like to share? Um, the Harlot said no.
Yeah, Lord, we should talk about the exit backdoor story next week.
Okay. I don't know that story. What's the story? Is it a football story?
No, it's a software madness that happened this week.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I said we should talk about the XZ backdoor story next week.
Oh, I think I saw that thing on Twitter.
Next
It was like an open source stuff, right? That was no more open
Not
source.
just
That
an open source stuff, something that happens that was going to attack
everybody.
I thought it was meant to be next week.
I was just saying that we should probably discuss that next week. A suggestion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bash, you'll be here next week.
what podcast?
Yes, I will be here.
Translations.
My thoughts
What
are with everyone who was involved in the earthquake in New York this afternoon. If you are listening from there, be safe.
Yeah.
Next week in New York.
In New York.
That's what Bash said.
Yeah, this afternoon.
Wow.
Okay, let me reach out to.
Reach out to my customers. Make I need this in their life like this, that kind of thing. Make I see. My customers see their life. Bash, thank you for the updates.
All right.
Thank you.
Now they think, okay, now I can show I care, you know.
Yeah. Now you can actually show you care, that kind of shit.
It's not just about the Benjamins, it's about the.
All right.
It's okay. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, people of the internet, remember all we've said on this pod are mostly for jokes, entertainment reasons, and informational. They are not to be taken as investment advice and life advice. But if you find something valuable you can try for your life as an experiment, feel free to take it, but do not hold us responsible because we are not responsible for that. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for listening to us. We still are your host. I'm your moderator. Welcome to the podcast. This week is Friday. We have Musa,
You don't change the name.
Bash, Olawale, Adriel. Oh, last week was Friday. That's the only pod. Last week was Friday. That's the only pod. Hadriel. Pronounce that your English name, Bash.
Hadriel.
Wait,
Hadriel.
is that actually
Hadriel.
your name, Bash?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
your passport?
Yeah.
Oh my! I think it was like something like Jones. Like you just.
Nickname.
No, the thing is, it's a bit tiring explaining in church each time why your name is Bashir. So
Yeah.
like, it's kind of difficult for me to explain. You're a Christian. Oh, but you're being Bashir. I mean, sometimes I have some friends during this Ramadan who who knew me as Bash or Bashir before I did the change, and they see me eating the afternoon, and they'll be like, "Aren't you fasting?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not." And like they'll be genuinely confused, and so like just to get rid of that controversy, I've sort of made it my third name now. Bashir is still there, but like it has been knocked down.
Down the
Any
list.
tips for the man whose name is Musa?
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say
High
anything. Nobody
key, you
can
can
set me up.
relate.
Nobody,
Really?
nobody can set me up for any tribalistic joke right now. Nobody can do that. Nobody can do that. Thank
Anyways,
you.
I think that.
I think your
All
your
right.
laugh gave you away.
Yeah.
All right.
So thank you guys for coming. We'll see you next week. Shego, Prince has gone for exam. Pray for him. He's not going to fail. There's no need to pray.
He's saying A
But
plus or A minus. Just
exactly. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of the internet, this podcast is managed under the What's Podcast,
what?
produced by What's Podcasting, and bring it to you. Take care. Bye.